be taught, it's all pretend. The facts will be done. Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. They'll lie while the earth spins around. Watch out for smackdown. They cling to ancient misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat earth in its place. Here comes the smackdown.
Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday night on a Thursday. Tonight, we are reviewing one of the earliest debates that exist on this topic, and we're supposed to be joined potentially by Red's Rhetoric and Gem Panda, the two normals that participated in the debate. You are going here's their avatars. They're not here yet. I sent them the invitation link. It is 4 a.m. for Gem Panda, so I don't know if he'll be here. And it's Reds is on the East Coast. I think he's Eastern time zone. So it's 11 p.m. for him. So I understand if he has scheduling challenges. Anyway, they're not here yet, but we don't need them to be here to get the party started. I will, let's see, I'll put them there. So let's get this queued up here. This is back in, here's the very introduction here. This was 7 years ago. I will get the exact date here. Give me a second here. Let's see. So this was on the Non Sequitur show, and it was Reds and Gem Panda versus Dell and his buddy Gav, who I don't know if Gav is still around anymore. Let's see. I'm looking for the exact date that it happened. So, where'd it go? Where did it go? It's not showing up in the where I thought it was going to be. Man. Anyway, it is nuts. This is the only time that I know of that Dell has actually participated in a debate. He does invite people to come on his show, but he's extremely abusive, and he's overtalks, mutes, just swears. I mean, he is quite a horrible person. This was June 3, 2018. So this was before my first video. My first video was in October 2018. But I was participating in watching these. I wasn't in any of the live chats. I was at the time I was watching them, not at the same time. So anyway, there's a good amount of intro. We're gonna skip past most of the intro here. I think. Let's see. All right. I know there's no audio yet, so just a second, I'll get that going. Here it is. There we go. See if that does it. No, not yet. I'm still figuring out some of the audio stuff since I've updated it. So let's see if I can. No, that's weird. It should be desktop audio there. Yeah, last night I had no issues. And now tonight it's going crazy. So let's see. Reset a few things here. There we go. Reset this. Audio to OBS. All right. And still no. It's supposed to be coming through, but it's not. That's very weird. Let's turn this off. Oh, that could be. So if you've used loopback, then it's a little, it's kind of it's very powerful, but it might be sometimes it's a little difficult to configure. There it is. Should be coming through there. But it's not. OBS is not seeing it. That's really weird. Man. Anyway, I'm hearing. I gotta take out the earbuds. I'm hearing. Man, Dell just going nuts already. Early in, he's going nuts. Browser, not even the browser's coming in, but the desktop audio, I don't know, man. Yeah, Reds was looking younger back then, for sure. Try this. I'm gonna disable that. That didn't do it. I'm going to disable this. Take it out from underneath there. Audio. I maybe can do something else. I have a different idea. Sorry, people. You deserve better.
Clips
for,
this is all you get.
I don't know, there it is.
What was it, like 200 years before it actually happened? Shit like that. So I guess if the... All
right. I changed something that I had previously done before, and it started working. That shouldn't be the case, but all right. And I'll check one more time to see if Reds is not here. So it looks like we're starting without him. That's fine. We'll hopefully he'll show up.
What we have coming up, to jump straight into the conversation, because it seems like I don't think the patience will build up from taking 5 minutes to do the what's coming up. So who we have here today with us is Red Rhetoric, Jim Panda, Gav, and Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve. And they're not going to be... Actually, Gav, I'm going to let you say what you just said a second ago about you're not here to defend a model, but you're here to talk about the claims that we make that the Earth is a globe. So
interesting. Already, in 2018, the flat earthers had already started waving the white flag, right? If you think the Earth is flat, but you can't provide evidence for it, then you've given up. You've admitted that the Earth is not flat. If the only thing that you can do to prove flat Earth is point out things you don't understand about the globe, and do understand these are things you don't understand about the globe, flat earthers always get it wrong, then you've even though you don't claim anything, you've lost. You've admitted the Earth is a globe, because you don't need to, if you want to establish that the Earth is flat, it's on you to provide the evidence that the Earth is flat. And these people, Dell has sat around week after week, rambling on, ranting on, yelling in his shed, with just letting the anger flow. To an echo chamber of people. And I've gone in there a couple times in the comments, and I get two things. I get demands to come on the show immediately, where he'll just rant at me and yell and not make any, and try everything possible to not support his claim. right? Saying that it's not his claim. Or I've got muted. And I think he resets his mute list every once in a while, because then sometimes I'll be in there. Yeah, there's a couple with Oakley that I'll queue up here, but I was looking for something that was super early, and there's some earlier ones on the Non Sequitur show. There probably are earlier than 2018 live debates. I did not look for them. I'm sure there are. I bet there are. If you know of any, maybe if you can find the earliest, wouldn't it be fun to find the earliest YouTube recording of a debate of this nature? So, hold on, let's see here. Matus says, I had some absolute irrefutable proof that the earth is flat, but my dog ate it, so I can't show it to you, but it definitely exists. And the Globies are all Satanist, atheist, Illuminati. Yep, that's pretty standard fare. Okay. Now, just for reference, so this is Gav, who is, I don't know, maybe he has a channel, but he's buddies with Dell. Dell is the angry Scot that yells a lot. Dell's earliest videos do claim that the earth is flat. When that is a model. Earth flat is model. So that's his model. Of course, once he realized that he couldn't provide evidence for it, he waved the white flag and started saying he doesn't have a model, and that all he does is question the globe, therefore flat. Oh, the audio went again? Oh, it did. Oh my goodness. It did go again. All right, I'm going to try number 2. Option number 2 here. So desktop audio 2. I'm going to go this one. And so now, let's see if it works. No. Tau Ceti Alpha's channel, or Trolls versus Trolls for some old school flurf action. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yesterday I did all of the stuff that I did, and it worked fine. Oh my gosh. I was messing with the settings today. I had some issues with using the sound today. So, all right, let me try a different thing. So what I had done, I changed loop back to something else. Yeah, it's like Flurf's got in here. Flat earthers, what when the flat earthers have tech issues, they literally claim that it's like they are interfering, trying to stop them. They do say that, and they're not saying, sometimes they are saying it sarcastically, but no, they're not. They're often saying it seriously. Okay, that's going there. So if I turn this off, will I hear it? Okay, I hear it. But you don't. Craziness. Okay. Okay, one more time here. There we go. All right. Let's see if this goes. All right. Jaws Incarnate says, you have not had much luck lately with tech. No, I have not. It has been a little... it's because I upgraded my operating system. I needed to for an app. If I have to for an app, then I have to. But then that was then a cascade of other things had to be updated. Specifically, Loopback. Loopback is the one that I really rely on for audio routing. And it had worked for a long time. When I upgraded the operating system, Loopback stopped working, so I had to upgrade Loopback. So I'm much louder than the debate. There's no sound to the debate. So, all right. I don't know. I'm sorry. Apologies that it's not working. I'll try a couple more things before I would have to, I don't know what I would even do if I can't get it to go right now. Cause I can't pull back the OS version. That just won't work. So, I don't use CrowdStrike, not on a Mac. That's for sure. So, all right, it's playing still. So one thing Loopback does is it has this thing where it will mute the output when capturing. So, oh yeah, here, let me try this. It can optionally mute while capturing and nope. That's not it. But that's not, I don't know. Okay. Invite some people in to do some bad lip reading. The problem is, Reds and Gem Panda aren't even on screen. But yeah, Dell, lip reading on Dell might be better than the automated transcripting with Dell. Because if you turn on the automated transcripting for Dell, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So, all right, I'll try a couple other things here. Let's see. So in Loopback, I do see that it's receiving sound. That's what's a little bit
shown to be correct,
frustrating,
which is why we were able to predict the solar eclipse for, I don't know, like, what was it, like 200 years before it actually happened, shit like that. So I guess if the round earth model is complete bollocks, then I guess we would need a pretty damn good explanation on why that bollocks has been pretty fucking accurate.
No more. Dale, did you want to add anything onto that before we jump over to the other side?
I don't see the relevance in anybody having to adopt any strong.
Explain that position, and it's going to have and Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve, and they're not going to be. Actually, Gav, I'm going to let you say what you just said a second ago about you're not here to defend a model, but you're here to talk about the claims that we make that the Earth is a globe. So I'll let you explain that position, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. So we're two very normal, reasonable people coming here for a discussion about objective reality. We were all born into the claim that we live on a spinning space testicle, and we find these claims absurd after we looked at them very closely. So we are not here to defend the model. We don't have a belief in a specific model. We think that what you are claiming, that we're living on a spinning ball, is nonsense, absurd, and infantile. And so we have no model to defend.
Okay, Dale, did you want to?
I am actually glad we got that out of the way. They have no model to defend. That we all agree. No model.
Dale, did you want to add anything onto that before we jump over to the other side?
I don't see the relevance in anybody having to adopt any strawman models. Well, talking about realism, I'm a real person, born into this, just as Gav said, and it's this intellectual superiority and this nonsense that people think you must have a model to defend. It's absolutely preposterous for real people born into this situation. So just as Gav says, the globe is absolute bollocks.
I'm agreeing with you. Flat earthers have no model. We're all in agreement. Steve, I don't know how that's an electric.
Define flat earther, please, Steve. Define flat earther, Steve.
Dell is a flat earther. I love how they deny being flat earthers. Again, wave that white flag. Now I'm going to press play. We'll see if the audio comes in.
I'm not going to define anything, but we agree flat earthers have no model. Is that a true statement?
Don't attach a straw man.
That's a true statement. All right.
Okay.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Okay, Reds, would you like to try to establish, I guess, why it is true that we are on a globe Earth?
Simply because observations that literally anybody can do confirm it. I mean, that's basically the first thing. But as far as a little bit going further in depth, it's because our model has predictive capabilities that have been tried, true, and tested and have shown to be correct, which is why we were able to predict a solar eclipse for, I don't know, like, what was it, like 200 years before it actually happened, shit like that. So I guess if the round Earth model is complete bollocks, then I guess we would need a pretty damn good explanation on why that bollocks has been pretty fucking accurate in predicting a lot of shit that has happened in the future.
Okay, I'll answer that. Okay, predicting patterns in the sky.
I think is supposed to go next.
What is it? I believe we'll get. Yeah, we're going to do this organized a little bit. Let's try to be organized.
This is why you can't go on Dell's channel, because it's not his turn to talk, right? This is the introduction time. So Gav spoke, Dell spoke, Red spoke. Time for Gem Panda to speak. He won't let him.
Yeah, we got to cover, man. We got to cover. We'll moderate. Yeah, we'll moderate here. We got this covered, but let Gen Panda introduce himself first, okay? I mean, Gem.
And then we'll let Dell respond.
Well, I would just say that I think this is a not veiled attempt to avoid any burden of proof. Gavin and Dell constantly claim that the Earth is flat. Dell constantly makes the claim that the atmosphere must be contained. So I believe that they do have a model. It's not very fleshed out, but they have a model.
All right.
Their model is that the Earth is flat and it's contained. I mean, do you disagree with that?
Jim, should I, for point of clarification, should I rephrase that as to date, they have no working model?
Right. Fine.
Okay.
That's good with me.
I'll go with that. Sure. They have no working model. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Was it my turn? Can I speak?
Well, I mean, would you agree with what I'm saying?
Jeremy, is it my turn? Shut up.
Hold on, Jim Panda. Let him respond.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dell.
Repetitive patterns in the sky. Anything in the sky that gives you absolutely zero measurement of the Earth's dimensions that you're standing upon. Absolute lunacy. Inferring that how do we create pressure? We go to physics, we go to actual substance-based tangible reality. How do we create pressure? We need a containment. What happens to pressure next to a non-pressurized environment? They equilibrate 100% of the time. Demonstrable fact of everyday existence.
Yeah, they've been parroting that same nonsense for years now, right? Think about this. They've been claiming pressure next to vacuum, pressure next to no pressure for years, but that's never been, our claim. It's never been the actual position of the Earth, of the globe, of the solar system. It's pressure next to a lower pressure. High pressure next to low pressure. We see that all the time. You can see that on when you watch the weather for tomorrow or the afternoon or whatever. There's a high pressure system coming through, and so there'll be a change in the weather. We see a different pressure on the top and bottom of the wing of an airplane. We see different pressure in the center of a hurricane versus outside the hurricane. And we can test it ourselves. If you have a smartphone with a barometer installed. So here we go. Barometer would like to access your motion and fitness activity. Oh, it needs it for air pressure reading. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here's my barometer app. So can I demonstrate high pressure next, or high pressure or a pressure next to a lower pressure? I can right here. So here it is. The pressure here is 985.6 hectopascals. 985.6. And here we go. Just moving it up. All right, I have to switch to the units. It doesn't have enough precision in the hectopascals. Give me a second here. I think, there we go. That's not it either. There we go. So we get, when you do PSI, you get 5 digits of precision. So let's see if this works here. 14.295. Oh, come on. There it is. 14.294. It dropped a decimal. I can get 2 or 3 usually, but I showed you one. There's not a lot of difference in this space here. But you can certainly do it. I did it while skiing. So it's just baked into the firmware, bro. Of course. How does it know the pressure? How does it know that? It has to be measuring it. So yeah, you can get about this little couple feet here isn't enough to get a good difference, but you can do it from the top floor to the bottom floor of a house. So there you go. So there I just demonstrated the pressure differential, and that's what we claim. There is a pressure differential. It goes to very low. Doesn't go to 0. Goes to near 0.
And yet, if you climb a mountain, you have lower air pressure.
Because there's less mass on top of you, Jeremy.
Why isn't air rushing up a mountain?
Because there's less mass on top of you.
But you said that it would equilibrate. Why doesn't it equilibrate here on Earth?
What you talking about? Where?
Why is there a pressure gradient? Why is there a pressure gradient on Earth? If all pressure, you've just said all pressure equilibrates 100% of the time, and yet we live in a situation where it clearly does not.
No, I didn't. Listen to what I said.
Okay, what did you say?
A pressurized environment coexisting next to a non-pressurized environment with no solid separation, both opposing pressures will equilibrate.
Well, they aren't opposing pressures.
So I would ask the question just very...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I would just like to ask the question, if you deny that reality, are you people actually denying lived life that 2 opposing pressure systems will equilibrate without a solid separation? Is that really what you are telling us?
Yeah, that's
everything that we realize and see and experience in our lived daily life, without which we could not function. You are actually denying that. Is that correct? You're reality deniers.
Jim Pinto?
It's funny, the straw man they set up, Gav here. Gav claims that he has some sort of an engineering background. I don't know. He doesn't seem to have the understanding necessary for it.
Jim, is he still there? Did we lose Jim? All right, Reg, did you hear the question?
Any one of you, you can all answer. Yeah, please.
Gav,
sure.
If I show you something in reality that shows you to be full of shit, would you believe it?
Yeah, if you can demonstrate something practically to me, yes.
All right, perfect.
Can you do that?
If you can demonstrate something practically to me, yes. Bookmark that in your head.
Steve, I've never used this incredibly messed up format that you're using. Can you please tell me how to screen share?
Dave, our producer, will walk through that.
That's not going to work. Sorry, you need to demonstrate practically with substances to me. Sorry, showing me a video.
We'll allow him to show you.
Gav.
Sorry, that doesn't work.
Gav, you can't just say it doesn't work before even seeing it. That's called being closed-minded. Now, if you want to go ahead and broadcast your intellectual dishonesty to everyone, be my guest, but I'm trying to show you evidence that you are asking for. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you again, would you like to see the evidence I have at my disposal
I would like to
be
see
full
it.
of shit?
All right, and by the way, we'll extend the same courtesy if they want. Gav, hang on. We'll extend the same courtesy to you guys. If you want to show something, that's fine as well. To screen share, what you're going to go do is go down to the bottom, with the mouse over where it has the disconnect, camera, microphone. The fourth one over is screen share, I believe. Is that right, David?
The little square thing.
Yeah, I'm just going to type.
Is it okay if I just respond to that? Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, on you go there.
How can you respond? When
so there's not much to respond to. He hasn't shown it yet.
I haven't shown it yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to screen share.
No, I think what somebody was missing here is that when we say natural science, then we mean demonstrate practically with substances. We don't mean showing videos. Can you show that happening with demonstrably, practically with substances? That's what we want to see.
It's amazing how he's pre-rejected it and has set the goalposts in a very impossible. He obviously he's a science denier. He has to reject everything that might possibly contradict his pre-selected conclusion. So he's already saying a video won't work. But of course, how do you think you are going to see something through the video that you're watching it? Of course, whatever you see has to be through video, right? So is he expecting that in the room that they're sitting in right now, they're going to be showing something? What if the thing that they did doesn't fit in a room? What if the thing that they're going to show to demonstrate was pre-recorded? Oh, that doesn't count, right? The desperate straw grasping here, that doesn't count. Dishonest. Absolutely dishonest.
Do it for myself.
Yeah,
not showing me a video is not going to help. Showing me
so you were expecting to get live science experiments performed in front of you on webcam. Is that what you were expecting from this debate?
No, don't.
Yeah, that's what he's expecting.
What do you mean by practically demonstrate? What does that mean?
This is exactly what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to show here is something that has been demonstrated. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a fucking video of it.
On you go.
Camden's.
All right. So, Dave, is this something we can show?
Just for those wondering, Dave is the producer of the Non Sequitur show. He went by Booleanator. He was a good friend, and he died a couple years ago in a bit of a unfortunate timing. He was just found dead in his room at one point. So very sad. He had produced a couple shows for me even. So Booleanator is a good guy. I don't know if you'll hear him talking. He didn't talk a lot, but he was a good guy.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Yes, I guess I can go ahead and share a link to video. I would prefer next time this be on Hangout so I can actually screen share this shit, but okay, fine, whatever. Oh God. Okay.
And while he's doing that, Jem, do you want to explain why he's doing that? How a pressure gradient works from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration? Because I don't think he understands how you can have differential in pressures across medium.
Steve, see your loaded action, Steve. They're just annoying me. All right, we understand a pressure gradient. The question is how do you create pressure in the first place? How do you maintain pressure, and how does it act next to a negative pressure system?
A negative pressure system. There we go. These Dell, claiming to be smarter than all the scientists in the world, doesn't understand that there's no such thing as negative pressure.
Don't tell us we don't understand a pressure gradient. Don't put words in our mouth and speak for us.
So you do understand it. So I don't understand why you're asking for it then, but that's fine.
I do know how it works.
Okay.
Do you deny what I
said? I do actually.
Do you deny it?
Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and say this. Hang on, guys, before you all jump down everyone else's throat. I went ahead and sent you the link, Steve. If you can tell whoever is on the show to fast forward to 3 minutes and 15 seconds and screen share, that would be fucking fantastic.
I'm getting it to our wonderful producer now. 1 second. 3 minutes and
Gav, I think this is a good opportunity while he's setting that up, Gav, to so that people know where you're coming from. You kind of gave us what your credentials were before we started, but I think that'd be a good thing to kind of put out there so people understand that you have that in your corner.
Now, if Gav has any actual science backing credentials, when Dell said negative pressure, Gav would have jumped in immediately and said, "I'm sorry, Dell, I need to correct my partner here and set the record straight on this negative pressure thing that he doesn't understand." But Gav did not do that so far. We'll see if he does, if he takes the opportunity now that he's been given the floor.
So you can kind of talk about what you done with.
Yeah, I can do that. So I just want to be very clear that I don't think that people need credentials to be able to discern what objective reality is. So I just want to put that up there up front. I responded, or I requested over the YouTube video because
he's correct. He is correct. You don't need credentials. I only claim that I successfully completed middle school math and science. But flat earthers do love to lay their credentials out there if they have them, right? And so the fact that they're asking Gav what his credentials are is telling us all that Gav had previously spoken about his credentials. Let's see what he has to say. I'm calling BS on that, Gav. You did not. You sat there when Dell mentioned negative pressure. Oh. Oh, the sound went out again. Dude. It's flaky. It's so flaky. All right. I gotta... How did I fix that before? If I knew what did it, I could do it again. But I don't know what made it happen, what made it work. Your sound is mood dependent. All right. Yeah, what is Gav's credentials? You missed him saying it. I'll make sure that I play it again. So, all right. Maybe I'll figure out what it is that that solves the problem, and then I can redo it every time, which would suck anyway, but it seems when I pause, it disconnects.
Objective reality is. So I just want to put that up there up front. I responded, or I requested over the YouTube video because Steve McRae asked for flat earthers who had credentials. Now, I don't believe that's necessary to discuss the flat earth, but I do have credentials. I studied mathematics and physics, majored in both, have an honours degree from Glasgow University. I'm here
so
because
you have a bachelor's equivalence? Is that what it is? A bachelor's equivalence? Not a master's, but a bachelor's. Okay.
Yep.
All right. MK Ultra, don't time out General E. Shady. Come on, guys. All right. Where'd he go? I'm going to mod him. And now I paused it, so the audio might not come back. Just for you, because you, man, MK Ultra, you just stop it. Where'd it go? Here we go. You can't time him out now. Dude, I like Generally Shady. He was joking. Please understand the joke, okay? As far as I know. 1 minute only, kept swearing after you asked. I don't time people out because you don't get along with them. If you don't get along with them, you can hide them so you don't see them anymore. That's the thing to do. If you're like, you don't want to see them anymore, then fine. But other people can still see them. That's okay, right? And if you think it's a horrible thing that they said, then then it's right here. It's recorded, you know, indefinitely if they're that bad. That's why I like having flat earthers able to say the things until they say something that YouTube won't like. Okay. All right. He said, I meant nothing bad, but was trolled. All good. Okay. So let's not do that. I'm behind on these super chats. Okay. Let me read some of these while hopefully the audio will come back in a second. But Kango44 says, I wonder why these clowns never just rent some total stations and measure the curve. Of course not. Dell did an experiment to prove the flat earth, which is the only thing they ever do, where he actually got some tubes, like a PVC pipe, and he went to some sort of a hill where you could see the ocean on both sides. And he was like looking through the pipe. Now, this is a kind of a long-standing experiment idea that people have had. So you take a pipe, you make sure it's rigid, which is of course a bit of a challenge, but rigid for over within a certain precision or tolerance over a short length is okay. And then you look through and you have it where you can see both sides can see the water, can see the ocean. And then you look through both directions to see if you can see the horizon on both ends, right? The horizon rises to eye level thing. That's what this is. But of course, the precision that you can get from this type of a pipe is very low, right? It's just a tube. And they're like, put a string across it. What's the precision you can get from that? No idea. That's the problem. And so unless there's a large dip of the horizon, which there isn't if you're on a hill, then you aren't going to differentiate between no dip and some dip. So, anyway, that's what he's tried to do. Why not rent a theodolite? Because they know that a theodolite will give the results that they don't want. Remember, they have the process. Start with a pre-selected conclusion. Number 2, look for evidence that supports their conclusion, even though it probably doesn't. Number 3, don't look for anything else that might contradict it. And then number 4, declare that your pre-selected conclusion has been undeniably proven. And that's what Dell wanted to do. And they know that if you use a theodolite, it won't work for them. It'll give the wrong results for them. They know that. They all know that. Samuel Rowbottom knew that. There were surveyors in the mid 1800s that had theodolites that did exactly that. And what did Samuel do? Did he say, oh, I'm a truther, therefore I'll accept the evidence? No, he's not a truther. He's the opposite of a truther. He's a person that calls himself a truther. And then he made up stories about how it couldn't be accurate. He said collimation errors. So a collimation error is in a theodolite, you measure the angle. There's crosshairs on there. And it's possible that it might be off a little bit. It might be reading 4 arc seconds too high, right? So what do they do? What do they do to fix the collimation error? Well, it's genius, and it's not very hard to do. Let's say this is your theodolite, and I'll have this one end here out, right? So what they do is, if you're looking through it that direction, right? You're looking through it that direction. What they do is they rotate it this way, and then they rotate it this way. Okay, now you probably don't see what happened here, because do I have tape? I have tape. I'll tape something to it. You didn't see what happened because both sides are the same. So here we go. You're gonna like what I'm taping on here. You better like what I'm taping on here. Okay. All right, there it is. Recognize that? Okay, so here's what they do again with the telescope and the theodolite. They rotate it this way, and then they rotate it this way. Now, what don't you see anymore? You don't see this, right? You don't see that anymore. So what's happening is the angle that you were measuring down is now the angle that you're measuring up. So if there's any error down, that error is now up. So what you do then is you average those two measurements. So if the measurement was 4 arc seconds too high, the other measurement is 4 arc seconds too low. You average them together and you get the real number. And so when they're being very precise, they won't just do that 2 times. They'll do it 4 times, 10 times, whatever it depends on the precision that they're looking for. So they'll do a whole bunch of measurements and they'll sum all of them together and get a good statistical number there. So yeah, I see Siggy here. I'm only on the first super chat. Kango44 says Tau City Alpha's channel or Trolls versus Trolls for some old school Fleur action. I read that before, but yeah, thank you. I'll look there. If any of you find anything, send me a message. Like let's say the earliest, the latest is 2017. Find something pre-2017 that's a debate. MK Ultra says Dell ran away from flat Earth. What? On his second sentence must be a record. This is 2018. He had already put out videos saying the Earth is flat. His very first videos talk about the Earth being flat. That's his claim. MK Ultra again says GlobeLive produces accurate predictions every time. Flat Earth Truth produces none. Magic. Yeah. And whatever measurement, prediction, observation for the globe that matches, that's not good enough. It has to be something else. It has to be on a Thursday, and you need to be wearing a hat with a propeller on it, and riding on a horse. The horse has to be plaid, but not painted plaid. It has to be actually plaid born that way. But it can't be a Scottish horse. So, and of course it has to have one horn in the middle. Duh. Anyway, Cretan Bull says, I remember watching this live. It was the first flat earth debate on the Non Sequitur show. It was not. This was, well, it was before they started numbering them. But there were a couple before this even. So, not the first. Then they went into numbers. And I only was on the show one time before everything went south. So if you don't, I didn't watch the politics of it, but the two people on the show there got not on the bottom corners, the hosts of the show, they got into a big argument. It got legal. It turned into a mess. So, whatever happened to Gav, says Fred Knotts. He seems to have disappeared when he was exposed who he was in real life. I don't know who he is in real life other than Gav. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Maybe there's information on it that could be that is public. I don't want to dox anything. That shouldn't be. Stiggy Sigwald comes in and gifts 50 memberships. Thank you very much, everybody. If you were gifted a membership, make sure you give a big thank you. Then Siggy comes along with, it says, Red's rhetoric is the Messi of flat earth debunking. You mean probably Messiah? Yeah, he is definitely, the early big boy in that. Sad that he isn't here. I always enjoy having him on, being on a show with him. Earthly Skeptic says, does any flat earther have an explanation for the pressure gradient? Witsit said gases are synthesized by trees on the ground, but no measurements or math. Yes, that is Witsit's claim. There are many problems with that. So they're basically claiming that they obviously have to claim that there's no gravity, because gravity would collapse a giant flat plane into a sphere. So what do they say is the cause of the pressure gradient? Some of them just say it's heavier. Some of them say it's density. Density isn't a force. It doesn't have a direction. It's just a relationship between mass and volume. Some say it's natural position, magic. But yes, Austin's claim right now is that outgassing, which is a common one that he picked up from somebody else, outgassing by biological processes on the ground. causes that, and it causes a rather consistent. Oh, another one they say, temperature, which doesn't work. The temperature doesn't work because it's the same, very close to the same pressure in Minnesota when it's 30 below as in Minnesota when it's in 100 above Fahrenheit. It doesn't make any sense. So outgassing doesn't make sense either, because in this room that I'm in right now, I don't have plants on the floor, and I showed you earlier a pressure differential. You can, in a sealed chamber, measure a pressure differential where there's no outgassing to be had at the bottom of it. So that's clearly not the case. Also, pressure differentials that are in disequilibrium will seek equilibrium, will move toward equilibrium at how fast pressure moves in air, which is also known as the speed of sound. Sound is a pressure differential. How fast does a pressure differential move? The speed of sound. So if it was the case that at ground level, it's air being outgassed, then there would be an upward wind at 700 something miles an hour. Further, biological processes don't create gas. They convert gas. So when a plant takes in carbon dioxide, it outputs oxygen, right? In CO2, out O2. Same number of molecules. Didn't create new ones. There isn't a spontaneous creation of new carbon dioxide oxygen molecules. They don't, zero critical thought they give to these things. They just parrot. Somebody else said it, sounds good, parrot it back. And the reason why, of course, is they have no scientific education, no background in the topic. They don't have any critical thinking skills, lots of reasons. Siggy Sigwald says, MC Toon, thanks for hosting Living Legend Red's Rhetoric, entertaining the masses with the verbal evisceration of the Webster definition of Dunning-Kruger. Hail Sagan, shout out to Astronomy Live. Yes, Astronomy Live is awesome too. Astronomy Live and Reds are they're always working together. And I met both of them in person in Florida. It was a surprise to me. I had mentioned to Astronomy Live that I wanted to go see a rocket launch. He said, well, this is a good place to go. So I went there and they were there. So it wasn't it wasn't a surprise that they're there. It was a rocket launch. What do? They go to rocket launches. Anyway, then the rocket launch was scrubbed. We came back the next day. They could not come back the next day. And I met somebody else. Who is he in the chat? There he is, Astro Rex. It was the next day I met Astro Rex. So did I avert my gaze, says Rick. Yeah, I happen to have welding goggles. Put them on quick. I had a headache for a while and a nosebleed, but I was better. But yeah, then the next day Astro Rex was there. The rocket launch did happen, and then we went out to eat at a restaurant, and Astro Rex, the dirty dog, paid for it before I could. So thank you, Astro Rex, for that. So, okay, finish reading here. Siggy says, guess who's back? Back again. Siggy is back. So is Dell. Dell never left. He's just in an echo chamber of his derpiness. Siggy again gifted memberships. Thank you again. Manowar says, shout out to the legend Siggy. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And praise Titicaca. And then Warren Smith, who's been a member for months, says first month supporting a worthwhile cause. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see if we can get the audio back as I hit play here.
Yeah. So
I'm here under a false premise. Because
yeah, I think maybe just like to explain that.
I haven't even gotten to my first piece of evidence, and already we're crying foul. What did you say, Guy Manning Show? 3 minutes, 15 seconds, please, and let me know when it's actually playing.
And go ahead, Gav or Dale, if you wanted to address that.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and ask a question first. Okay, Gav, question for you. If I had a vacuum chamber, and let's say I had a small packet of gas, if I cracked that packet of gas open in the vacuum chamber, the packet of gas would expand rapidly into the vacuum. Is that correct?
In a contained vacuum, yes.
Yeah, if I had a vacuum chamber, so chamber, we bring it down to vacuum, as much of a vacuum. We have a packet, like some sort of containment for gas, and we just break it open. That gas will expand rapidly in all directions to fill the void, correct?
To fill the vacuum chamber, yes.
All right, perfect. We're in agreement so far. So at this point, if you have the video up, if you can please play that, that would be great. And then let me know when it's playing. There we go. What we're seeing here is the Atlas V 551. As it's doing a rocket launch, it's doing what's known as a luminosity transfer.
We're now
into
in the sunshine.
So what you see here is the gases being expelled out of the back of the rocket. Now, the one thing that you're going to notice here is that as the rocket gains more and more altitude, the gases are going to expand wider and wider and wider. Can you skip ahead by 1 minute? You will see here that as the rocket gets further and further, the gases are expanding more and more and more. So we will go ahead and discuss the mechanism of exactly how this is working in a moment, but this is showing evidence that there is a pressure gradient at work here. This pressure gradient is showing that as the rocket gets higher and higher and higher, the air that is surrounding it is getting thinner and thinner and thinner until eventually the gases being expelled out of the rocket are so fucking wide you can't see it anymore. So basically what this is showing is that what we are seeing and what Jampana was showing, that's Miko right there, mainage and cutoff. What Jampana was saying about there being pressure gradients, this is demonstrable evidence from reality that you would be able to see yourself if you bought a plane ticket to Cape Canaveral, Florida sometime. By the way, this was filmed with the Nikon P900, the flat earther camera of choice.
Okay, very quickly, people are asking. Real quickly, people are asking. Real quickly, I am the moderator. I am the moderator, and we decided when we started this, when Kyler and I moderate, everybody be quiet so you don't talk over. Real quickly, because this is pertinent, can you please tell the audience what pressure is, because they're asking for it. So if I have a conversation, if they don't know what you're talking about, can you give them a definition for pressure, please?
We made a point on how we go to physics, and we're told we live in a pressurized environment that's coexisting next to a vacuous, empty space, negative pressure, zero pressure. Now,
which one, negative pressure or zero pressure? Gav, Mr. Credentials here. Fix your buddy's misunderstanding.
Mr. Red's rhetoric here has just showed a video of a supposed rocket in our pressurized environment and explained how there's a pressure gradient in the gases, which we understand. We're quite clearly.
What is pressure?
Steve,
people are asking you, what is pressure?
Steve, listen. The claim of the globe.
I am listening. We're asking you a question. What is pressure?
Steve, the claim of the globe. I'm responding to the way.
I'm not asking about the claim. I'm not asking about the claim. Can you tell us what pressure?
Bad Aussie says we need subtitle, please. Automatic subtitles don't work for Dell. So Dell is being asked the question, what is pressure? The audience has asked that in the live chat, apparently, because Dell obviously does not know what pressure is. So it's a good thing to do to shine a spotlight on his ignorance.
Is yes or no? If not, I'll ask somebody else. Okay, he doesn't know. Gavin. Yes, that's the question.
So we can these fucking morons are just buying Decepticon pieces of shit. They're not here for honest discourse.
Dell doesn't know what pressure is. Okay, we're not Dell. When I told you before, Dell.
Okay, listen.
Total no.
Yeah, listen to us carefully.
So listen,
Del,
here's what
we told you.
Here's what we're gonna do. Hold on, chill out, everybody. Reds, so that everybody in the live chat has an answer. Dale, it wasn't to you, Dale. It was just a general question. So, Reds, will you define what pressure is so that we can then have Dale respond to the video that he just saw?
Oh my gosh! All right, I need to deal with some stuff here. Generally Shady is not anti-Semitic. MK Ultra, do you feel that Generally Shady was somehow directly targeting you, or do you accept that he was trying to talk in a sarcastic or joking or tongue-in-cheek manner of some sort? Right. So all right, so MK Ultra says he made an anti-Semitic comment and came at me for someone else's joke. Is that it? He sent a dog whistle. Oh my gosh. Could it have been a joke? So I've seen that Generally Shady has said it was a joke. If he said it was a joke, not a dog whistle, then take him at his word, okay? He said, yeah, all right. He somehow said something about Jews and protruding body parts. I said no joke. He said no joke. You did not make a joke. Beast Militia says he made it clear what he was saying, but I'll let it go. Okay. Beast Militia will let it go. Generally Shady, can you let it go? MK Ultra, can we all just, not be flirty about this and say whatever? Let's there's a misunderstanding and just park it. Right? I've seen Generally Shady in the chat for years here. He's to my knowledge not a bad guy on this topic. So all right. I let it go. Don't even care. All right. There we go. Thank you. Moving on. Let the flirts be like that. We can be the adults. Okay. All right.
Pressure is a force that is applied perpendicular to a surface.
Okay.
So it is a unit orthogonal force over unit volume or unit area.
Now we're going to go to Dale. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go to Dale to respond to the video that we just saw, and then we'll let Gas respond after Dale. So Dale, it's your
so if it was relevant, I would answer the question about what pressure is, and as Reds has just explained, pushing equally in every direction or a container. So that's exactly the point. So we asked about pressure. We're told we live in pressure. We go to physics. How do we create pressure? How do we understand pressure? We need a container. How do we create a vacuum? We need a container. What happens when we put the two of those together and remove the containers? We have equilibrium. Now, what is just demonstrated is in no way, shape, or form a response to the point that we made.
I'm sorry that you don't see how it is a response. I can go ahead and correct you on that if you're actually willing to hear it.
Okay, we're gonna get there, Reg.
All right, so yeah, let me try to translate Del from Delish to English. Del was asked what is pressure. Red's answered, and then I think Steve clarified. Steve's in the bottom left there, saying that pressure is a force over an area. That's what it is, right? Newtons are force. Sorry. The SI unit for pressure is pascals, and a pascal is 1 Newton per square meter, I believe. So square meter is a good size, right? Like this, and a Newton's not a lot, so a pascal is not a lot. You need many pascals to equal a lot. So typically they're not measured in just pascals. Typically it's hectopascals. The cool thing about the metric system is that you can choose a prefix that is relevant to where you're at, to the common usage, right? So we use kilograms often instead of grams. So how much what's the person's mass? Well, you don't typically give it in grams because it's going to be many thousands. You typically give it in kilograms. So 100 kilograms instead of 100,000 grams. So Dell, who said previously negative pressure. So you think about this. How can you have negative pressure? Here's the surface. Pressure is the amount of force on an area, right? So how can you have negative pressure? It would be pulling. Well, you can't pull. You could take all of the pressure away, and then there will be 0 here, but there's no pull on it, right? If you have something here, if you have another pressurized area here, this will push on it, right? But this side isn't pulling on it. But yeah, Dell did not get that. He's not smart enough to understand the topic. And here he's yammering on about physics, which he clearly does not understand.
Let Gav Gav respond.
Try your best.
You can
Okay.
there. So Gav.
Yeah, so pressure, a definition of pressure would also be to coerce. So I don't like this badgering questions either and showing false equivalencies in videos and pictures. So can you please...
He ran away. No surprise.
ask or respond properly to the question.
Stop butting in, Steve.
Okay, first of all, I'm allowed to butt in because I'm the fucking moderator.
Show him out. Show him out. I don't give a fuck about your
So Dell, as much as I want a dumpster fire, I'm not going to let you walk on me, Dell. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. You want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. But you will not walk on me, Dell. Do you understand?
I'll fucking walk on you and you walk on me, Sonny boy.
Chill out. Look, I'm gonna start muting everybody. That's everybody. Leave the personal, whatever's going on between you two. Let's just chill it out and don't respond to each other.
I asked him a question. He goes into roid rage.
Okay, we're gonna go to Reds to respond to Dale and Gav's claims. Okay, Reds.
Yes, thank you. All right. How do we create pressure? Pressure is just because there is a weight of air around us. As you get further and further and further up, there's less and less air above you. And that means since there's less and less air above you, it's naturally going to weigh less. That means the higher up you go, you have less atmospheric pressure. The claim being that we need a container was just debunked by this video I shot of a rocket. And by the way, this wasn't something that I got secondhand. This was a rocket I filmed myself at Cape Canaveral, Florida, back in 2015. And you could see something like this. Okay, just interrupt me too. Listen, I understand the listen. I understand having evidence. Listen, I understand having evidence shoved up your ass sideways is painful, but please take it like a fucking man. So with that, I'm saying this is that when you actually see this rocket go higher and higher and higher, you're seeing a demonstration about what Gav just admitted would happen in low atmospheric pressure, i.e. vacuum. He said that gases would expand outward evenly. Thank you very much for interrupting me again.
Yeah,
thank you very much for interrupting me again.
God, everybody, the people can't hear your sides. If you're wanting to make an argument for that the globe Earth is ridiculous, at least wait until everybody's finished talking so that the people out there can hear your side of the argument. If your true intention is wanting to disprove that, just wait until everybody gets done, and then we're going to give you as much time as you need to explain your side as well. I promise you that. But everybody out there can understand. Just relax a little bit. All right.
It's an amazing dumpster fire, and we're seeing one in the chat still. You guys all said you were going to move on, and you didn't move on. Come on. Generally shady. I'm not even going to read that. Stop. Just stop. Block each other if you need, so you don't see each other anymore. Do that. Okay? This isn't the place for that. I don't care. Okay? I'm not going to have this happen here, and the last thing I want to do is kick any of you guys out of here. Okay? Don't do it. We're here to watch this dumpster fire, not this dumpster fire. Okay? Please. So, yeah, Beats Militia, go on there to MK Ultra or Generally Shady or whoever, right, you have a beef with, and say block so you don't see him anymore. Same with MK Ultra, same with Generally Shady. Then it'll be gone. You won't have to deal with it. Like, I'm not... Seriously. Go on Facebook and look at the people that lie about me. Right? I don't go do that. Seriously. If you have a Facebook account, jump on there. Just go find my page and then go look at the comments from the flat earthers. They lie about me. I laugh at them. Right? Drop that pride. Get some thick skin, everybody. Okay?
Let's finish, and then we're going to go and let them respond to what you're saying now.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's try this one more time. As Gav just said, gases in a vacuum will expand outward rapidly. What we saw here was a rocket having its gases illuminated by the sun, expanding rapidly, more and more so as it got higher and higher and higher. This shows a decreasing atmospheric pressure as altitude is increased. And guess what? Since the rocket didn't blow up when it hit anything, I guess that means there wasn't anything there to decrease the atmospheric pressure other than the weight of the air itself and the fact that there was less of it. So with that being said, given that you can see this in reality, objective reality, remember, that's what we're dealing with here. And I was able to film this in objective reality. And the fact that you can see this in objective reality, please tell me how you're now going to disagree with objective reality. Go.
Was that in a vacuum? Was that in a vacuum?
Yes.
Was that video you showed us something in a vacuum?
Yes, it was in a vacuum.
Yeah, that video I showed you was something going into vacuum.
Prove it.
Okay. Can you please play the video again?
Oh my gosh. What a douche.
Please bring up the video one more time and bring it up to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Or not 3 minutes, 40. Yeah, 3 minutes, 45 seconds, around there. There you go. Okay, so here you see the gas expanding at one rate. Fast forward to around 4 minutes 30. Now you see it expanding at a different rate, exactly what we would expect in a vacuum. Proof given. Now, what is your counter to this?
I win shite. It's so preposterous.
You have 30 seconds.
Let us speak. Let us speak. Right. Resulting to videos that you're just looking at something in the fucking sky, there's no scientific measurable proof of anything, son. We're asking you to demonstrate practically how gases are pressurized and what the relationship is in regards to a non-pressurized environment. Practically demonstrate. Don't just fucking show us a video of some wee thing in the sky and then say, ta-da, there's my claim proved. You're just waffling utter garbage, son.
Yeah, absolute nonsense. Yeah.
Can I ask
practical demonstration?
Amazing here. Dell demanded. He said prove it, and then Reds proved it. Right, that rocket is outgassing. There's gas coming out of it, and it's spreading, in all directions into the vacuum. And he's like, "Oh, it's just a video of a wee thing in the sky." So what? That doesn't make it not evidence. The desperation is amazing. Now this was 2018. This is 6 years ago, and Dell is still an angry idiot in a shed. Now Paul asked, why don't I debate Dell here? Why don't you? How come you don't debate Dell here? Now Dell won't after this. This, to my knowledge, is the last time that he was on somebody else's show to have a conversation. He will only do it on his own show. And so people have said, myself, and I haven't specifically given him, but open invitation, Dell, I will happily debate you on a third party platform where neither of us can mute and neither of us can overtalk. But the problem is that we are seeing right now is Dell demands the ability to overtalk. So he won't go anywhere where he can't overtalk. So is Dell's neck the same width as his head? Yeah. Yep. And his brain is the same size as. Never mind.
Well, why is it nonsense? I mean, what? Sure.
What I want to know is what is meant by practical demonstration. Because it's
With
the video
substances.
isn't
Do
good.
you know the difference?
It sounds like they're asking for something being shown to them live, and yet they've denied that that's the case. So what is meant by practically demonstrate?
Jeremy, see these devices that we're using right now? See when it comes to men and real people in regards to reality, see when we make claims to each other, we're duty bound to demonstrate stuff. So substances is like the things that you're using right now, the keyboard you're typing on, the screen you're looking at, the cup you're drinking out of, tangible stuff. That's how we prove to each other how things are real. Right? We don't just show videos. That's real.
But
isn't that interesting? Dell could not actually provide an actual real answer. You know, a description of the kind of thing he would accept. Is it you must do it in the room right now with you? Is that what you mean? And Jem asked that. Jem Panda said, "Is that what you mean?" And Dell didn't answer that very direct and clear question. Right? And flat earthers often do this. When you ask them, what will you accept? They'll just say proof, evidence, like, no, be specific. And of course they don't want to, because they know as soon as they actually put some reasonable parameters on what they would accept, it's going to be given to them. And then they're going to be stuck because they've drawn a line in the sand, and now they're going to be screwed. They don't want to do that. So they leave it nebulous on purpose because they hate the truth, right? They don't want the truth to affect their delusion.
But it is a video, Dal. We're speaking via video, aren't we? What can we show you that wasn't on video?
Jeremy,
if I remember correctly,
so it's recorded video. It's recorded video that you object to. Live video is okay. Is that right?
I'm not listening.
No,
Jeremy.
what we said at the beginning. What we said at the beginning was something that we can prove for ourselves.
Which they did not say that in the beginning. They asked for a practical demonstration, right? They've built up this giant skyscraper of requirements now. Of course, it's still nebulous.
Proving for ourselves does not mean I can show me somewhere where I can take two different pressure systems, take away the barrier, and they will not equilibrate. Show me.
Sure, the bottom of a mountain and the top of a mountain. How does that occur without a barrier?
Or the fact we have expelling gas reacting
pressure without the container.
So I'd like an answer to that question. How is there different pressure at the top of a mountain to the bottom of a mountain without a barrier in between?
Right, and I'm going to show you a wee example you can do for yourself, which I've explained to you numerous times, Jeremy. Go to a body of water, okay? Get into the body of water, swim downwards, Jeremy, and you will notice an increase in pressure. Do you know why that is?
I asked you a question about the top of a mountain and the bottom of a mountain. It has nothing to do with water.
Where's the moderators?
I've asked you. It's a simple question. Let me repeat it because
he's whining. Where's the moderators? It's a great question, Dell. Why are you changing the topic?
You seem to.
Right here.
How is it possible? How is it possible for there to be a difference in pressure at the top of a mountain to the bottom of a mountain?
Everybody. Okay,
sorry, I'll mute.
He asked you a question. Answer the question about the mountains, and then he will respond to you about the going into the body of water. But give him an answer about the mountains question that he asked. Okay, now you can unmute Dell.
Answering the question. Just because it's not palatable to you, let me get to the end of it, okay? So, as expressed with a body of water, it's the same with here. The higher up you go, there's less mass pushing down on top of you, less pressure. Simple.
Okay, Jim Panda.
So you're not disagreeing with my video then?
So at what point does this stop working then? I mean, if you can have a slight difference in pressure, let's say at sea level at 14 psi to the top of a mountain at, I don't know, 5 psi or something like that. Why do you believe that stops at some point and then requires a barrier for there to be a difference between almost no psi and no psi? Why does that require a barrier and the mountain doesn't?
Because Jeremy, I deal with everyday reality.
Oh my gosh. Everyday reality is bottom of a mountain to top of a mountain.
I look at my reality and how it actually operates. Now, in order to even have pressure in the first place, we require a container. Do you deny that?
Again, he changed the topic. That's been their tactic.
Yes.
How? Give me an example.
Pressure requires atmospheric pressure requires a force acting on the atmosphere.
It's just words.
Dell said,
that's just words.
You know what?
They're English words that you should understand. You know, they're coherent words, I think.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Dell asked, no, hang on. Dell did ask for an example. Listen, guys, that is fair. Can you please replay the video from the 3 minutes and 45 second mark just so we can
fucking sky, son. Shut up.
Yeah, I know. Objective reality is a pain in the fucking ass, isn't it?
No, it's just
showing videos is a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass when it doesn't agree with the flat earth, does it?
Okay.
That's genius.
Gav, did you look like you wanted to say something? Did you want to help clarify your side on that?
Yeah, but again, I would ask for the reality deniers to deny, once again, please, for everybody to hear that a container is not necessary to create pressure.
A container is not necessary to create atmospheric pressure.
Okay.
No, pressure.
Wow,
I'm saying pressure.
Wow.
Pressure, yes.
Why is it necessary for you to define it like that? Why are you playing a word game, Gavin? Why are you playing a word game, Gavin?
No, because you're playing word game.
I was just more specific than you, wasn't I? You were being deliberately non-specific.
No, because the atmosphere is exactly the point of contention that we're talking about here. That's exactly the contention that we have, that our atmosphere can exist next to a void without equilibrating. That is exactly the contentious point. So if you're only...
What void? This is the part that's always quite the mystery. What void are you talking about? Are you talking about the void where it's a little less pressure here than here? That void? Is this the void you're talking about? Or are you talking about this void? Or this void? Or this void? Or a mile up void? Or 10 miles up void? Or 100 miles up void? Which void are you talking about? Because this gradient leads to just another version of the gradient. There's no void. The void that he's talking about, see, he imagines that there is a point that the gradient somehow can't happen anymore. Don't know why. Right? He doesn't know why. He just wants that to be the case, and he just goes on and on. This guy that claims, by the way, to have credentials.
His point that atmospheric pressure is apparently possible to do that because you guys believe in space, yet in lived life and direct reality that is not possible. Then you are denying reality.
He just says it's not possible. Okay, maybe. All right, back to this little the dumpster fire happening here. This might be the we might come to a resolution here. I hope so. Generally Shady has 3 super chats. Who says, who saw my anti-Semitic words from me? Then says, apologies everyone. I'm not going to read the rest. And then said, Beast Militia concedes I never was anti-Semitic. Okay, I hope so. I hope so. Please, just okay. All right, they're thanking each other. Hold on. What did Beast Militia say? Make sure. I just want to make sure. No. Beast Militia says I confused Generally Shady with Shifty and already apologized. He made no such anti-Semitic remark. It was Shifty. Oh no, Shifty! Shifty's a flatty. All right. Well, remember, Shifty's a flatty. Shifty says they invite me to Seder and break bread with them. High Jewish holidays for feasts. Now, I let me say this: there are people that have a particular version of religion that does the high Jewish holidays, and the same people at times. I don't know about Shifty. I'm not saying this. Also, are anti-Zionists, and we'll talk about all sorts of conspiracies that they think that they blame on the nameless, faceless they that hail from Israel. So Shifty only said that Jewish people have earned their positions. Matthew Pip, okay. Did I? And all of the people I've ever dealt with that are, Jewish or from Israel. My insurance agent is from Israel. I love them. All the interactions I've had are fantastic. And let me say this. I'm in Minneapolis. I'm very involved in Ultimate Frisbee. And you can't go far in the Minneapolis area in Ultimate Frisbee without meeting a large number of Jewish people. And I'll tell you two things. They're fantastic people, and they're really good at Ultimate. So, there you go. And I can tell. By the way that they play. Right? It took me a couple years, but I see that. I'm like, oh, I know where he learned that. He learned that at Camp Herzl. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm like, I'm teaching my players how to. I'm like, do that. It's great. They're like, how? I don't know how. It's fantastic. Anyway, all right. Cool. Matthew Pip. Okay, hold on. Oh, I see. Matthew Pip is here. Said something. Dude, Matthew Pip. Stop. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. If he says that, that's, yeah. Time him out for that. I saw that. Oh, he said this. I don't know. Nice. Okay. Would one day, Brilliant says, would one day they're only a Frisbee throw away? I'm not an Ultimate Frisbee champ. I tell you, today at the game, I did a little bit of it wasn't much. It was not impressive. I did a bid. I dove for a catch. I did not make the catch. And I usually don't do a layout. So a layout. All right, let me explain. Let me explain here. So on a layout, right? Here's the ground. You launch yourself, right? And then your chest hits first. I don't do that. I do a roll, right? I've done martial arts for enough years that I'll do a roll. I'll tuck my shoulder and I'll flip around. I did that, but I didn't quite nail it. So I kind of thumped the ground a little hard and I'm a little sore. So when I got back, I took some Tylenol. So, and all right, Max, I saw earlier you said that you would host it with Dell. Yes, on Matters Now. Yes, that would be great. There's no chance Dell would ever accept it, right? First of all, and this is why last night I made a point to the Moon Hoaxer, goofball, right? Marcus Allen. In the emails, I'm like, look, because he's like, I just have some questions. Like, no, that's not how you debate. In a debate, you state your position. I state that the Earth is a globe. I state that people went to the moon. Right? And if you don't have the sack for that, then you're not the person for a debate. Run away, go to your echo chamber, or shut the hell up. If all you have is, I've got questions, then shut up. Don't call anybody. Don't say, I want to be on your show to share my dumb questions. Right? Just shut up. Get balls. Grow some balls. State your position. Back it with evidence. And Marcus Allen last night, he I don't know if did he really state his position? I mean, we all know his position. I'm not sure if he really did. Maybe he did. But he did not back it with evidence. All of his stuff. And I, even after giving him this, all right, let me show you this. He bought the book. I told him to buy the book. I gave him the Amazon link right there. You've got a claim. Your claim then it has associated with it data. And then you have the warrant. The warrant is the reason why the data supports the claim. So his claim is people did not go to the moon. His claim is that it was filmed in a studio somewhere. Okay, so then the data would be, here's the studio. Here's the people involved. Here's the the place it was built. And none of that. He went with, oh, I don't understand what's happening in this picture. Ha ha ha. Hey everybody, you should think what I think about the moon landings. Nope. Yeah. Marcus's only position was, look at this photograph. Isn't it interesting? Or my favorite is he tested to see if you could put a film in a vacuum and then take pictures with it. Turns out you can. His own experiment did that. The color in his experiment was off. Well, he didn't use the same film. He didn't use the same development process. He didn't subject the film to the same conditions as Apollo missions did. They put it in a hard vacuum for 3 days. The Apollo missions had it in a vacuum for a couple hours. That was it. Significantly different. And probably, my guess is the actual color change was more due to the heating that they did. They put a heat lamp on it, got it up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit or Celsius? I'm not sure which one. I don't know. Anyway, 130 degrees. And then, which is probably higher than the film ever got on the moon, because on the moon, it was inside of a silvered canister, an aluminum silvered canister where only half of it can be hit by the moonlight at a time maximum. The other half is exposed to sunlight, no light at all. So all of it can radiate heat, and only half of it can receive radiant heat. And it's metal, so it conducts heat quickly, so it can move the heat away from the hot spot. I don't know how many pictures were taken on the moon by the named astronauts. I knew it was over 5,000. I didn't know the specific number, and that's another tactic that Marcus was trying to do, and I was having nothing of it. He's trying to ask me questions. He was trying to show, I think what he was trying to do was to try to show that I didn't know. I knew that there was over 5,000 photographs taken by named astronauts on the moon, but I didn't answer because that's not, I'm just highlighting he wasn't presenting evidence. Asking me how many photographs were taken isn't evidence. So, who were the unnamed astronauts? Bob the Science Guy is live looking at satellites. Flatties, you can go see they're real if you're brave. Yeah. Bob's telescope is pretty cool. So.
And yet reality seems to disagree with you.
Mountains are in your reality. And at what point do you believe that this pressure gradient stops? Why does it stop? Why do you? We know there's a pressure gradient lower.
Because that's what life does.
Question.
Go ahead.
Question to both of you. If the Earth was removed, would the atmosphere then equalize with the quote vacuum? Or is there a reason that we have a pressure gradient from space to the Earth because we have something called gravity that the Earth has? If we didn't have the Earth, would we still have the atmosphere stay where it is, Reds?
No, we wouldn't.
Okay, so something is causing it.
Gravity.
Okay, so we need something to prevent the atmosphere from going to space. Gav, would you please address that? If the Earth wasn't here, do you think that we think that the atmosphere would just stay where it is, or do you understand that we promote that the Earth has gravity, and that gravity is what is causing the attraction to the atmosphere, causing it not to leak out into space?
Steve, you're already assuming things that I deny, right? So there's actually no point in us having a discussion if you're already making presuppositions that a space exists, that we're a spinning ball in space, there's no point in discussing further, right? We have to agree in some first principles. You can't bring, you can't bring presumptions into your arguments that I deny to begin with. So let's go right
Make
back,
it a hypothetical.
please, to the very start.
Forget the precept.
No.
Forget the precept. Make it a hypothetical. If it was the case,
Why should we talk about hypothetical things?
So you cannot type a block. If you don't want,
they can't handle hypotheticals. But you know what they also couldn't handle? They couldn't handle Reds being there, and Reds is here now. How you doing, Reds? He's not unmuted yet, but he's joined the call. He might be working on. He's still muted, and because I'm having a couple technical issues, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's hearing me. So hold on. Try to change this. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. No, you can't. Hold on. All right, there it is. Come on. Oh, jeez. Loopback is really flaky. I'm pretty sure it's loopback that's the culprit in all of this. So there it is. Okay. Can you hear me, Reds? You should be able to now. But he's not unmuted yet. Okay, well, tell you what, Reds, you take your time. I will when you're ready, you just say something. Hopefully I'll hear it. And of course, because I messed with the audio, it's not working to OBS. Even though it's supposed to be. So let's see. I'm working on it. I hear it, so I wasn't saying anything. All right.
Yeah. Hold on. You guys are claiming this.
You missed a good one. Hopefully this doesn't.
You can't bring presumptions into your arguments that I deny to begin with. So let's go right
back. Make it a hypothetical.
Please, to the very start.
Forget the precept.
No.
You can't handle hypotheticals.
Make it a hypothetical. If it was the case.
Why should we talk about hypothetical things?
So you cannot talk about. If you don't want to talk about hypotheticals, that's fine. You can't talk about hypotheticals. Just say you can't talk about hypotheticals.
Of course I can, but I'm here to talk about direct reality, Steve, not about hypotheticals. If you ask me how does the warp drive work on the Starship Enterprise, then I would also have to say I don't fucking know, right?
Here comes.
So are you claiming that space doesn't exist?
Yes.
Are you claiming it does?
Okay, that's a claim. All right, there you go, Jim.
He made a mistake. He made a claim. All right. Scott Wolf, baby, it's time to get a Windows Linux computer. I have a problem with one app that has not been updated yet. So I don't know. I don't know if that's it. But there's a double audio. Is it a double audio on me? I can see that I have a double audio right there coming to me, and I can fix that. Is it just me, or is it the is it everything? Just mine. Okay. All right, I can fix that. I think there it is. Okay. Just me. All right. Okay. Reds. All right, can you hear me? And no, you can't. Hold on. Of course you can't. Can you hear me now, Reds?
There you are. Hi, how's it going?
And I didn't hear you. Oh my gosh.
Damn it.
It's driving me nuts out here. All right. Here we go. All right. He can hear. All right. Say something again, Reds.
Say something again.
Loopback, you're killing me. It's just, yeah. You can hear Reds, but I can't. Damn it. All right, Reds, you talk to them. You entertain them while I try to fix this system here.
Oh God. Putting me on the spot here. Your first mistake was assuming that I was entertaining. Let me try to type that out to him real quick. Hang on 1 second. Guys, bear with me. Not used to this kind of pressure. Let's see. I can hear you. Fix your crap. You see, your first problem was using Zoom. If this was something else, this would be fixed. This would have been fixed. Oh boy. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, all of my audio settings are correct. So I would like the record to show that this is all your fault and not mine. And also it was your fault for making this really, really, really late. So, yeah. Let's see what happens here. Just going to get my settings up. Yep, all of my stuff's good. There's literally nothing more I can do to help the situation. His first mistake was using an Apple product, I believe.
Oh, all right. Are you done talking, Reds? I can only hear if you talk or not.
You can.
I can see if you type to me.
Oh God. Okay, listen. Your
loopback has been super awesome until this last update. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. So I'm an update behind though. I'm hesitant to change it if it works. Obviously it's not. So I don't know. I'm doing everything right according to loopback, but it's still not functioning as it should.
So I'm guessing I should just leave if this is going to cause an issue.
Final Cut, that, Messenger, OBS, Zoom. It's supposed to be sending Zoom, but it's not. Okay. Well, it's just I didn't want to. Dave Fear says I didn't want to hear the stuff Reds was saying about me. So abort me coming in. Yeah, Reds, thank you for coming here. I can't. I'm gonna have to do some more debugging. I thought I'd solved it all, but I didn't. I think it's loopback. I'm pretty sure it's just loopback is being flaky. And there's only so much I can do right now.
This is going to annoy him. This is going to annoy him so much.
Loopback even has like a menu across the top here, but it's not there it is. Audio routing kit. So yeah. OBS, Zoom. Why is that there? I don't know. Showing video. So anyway, Reds. Yep. Why don't you say something, and then, I guess you'll have to go.
Did anyone ever tell you that you suck? Have a good one, people.
Okay, looks like you stopped talking. Thank you for coming. I wish I could have heard your sultry voice. I'll have to listen back to see what horrible things you said to me. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Now, I don't know if the audio is going to work. Let's try it. All right. I'll hit that. Okay, let's see if we get this here. Go away, Zoom.
Please.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Hold on. You guys are claiming that space exists. You claim that
they just claimed there was no space.
Well, can we stick to the pressure thing, please?
No, let's go somewhere else.
Let me stick to the pressure point, please. Okay. Yeah. Pressure point.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I saw what you did there.
Okay. Yeah. You see, that was clever, wasn't it? So basically, the idea is that we had a task given by Gab. Show me something in objective reality that shows this pressure gradient going into something that has no barrier, which is space. And guess what? Del, stop using your asshole for your mouth and shut the fuck up for half a second. All right. So as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, was that as we saw in objective reality, rocket lifting off and showing the gases expanding more and more and more as it got higher and higher and higher, which is a direct consequence of less and less and less atmospheric pressure. Eventually, the atmosphere will get so thin that there will practically be no atmosphere. We're seeing this demonstrated to be the case in reality, but yet for some reason, these guys deny it because, it's on video, therefore it doesn't count. I call bullshit.
Okay, I mean,
you're a specky prick, Steve.
Go ahead, Del.
Go ahead.
Anger.
Did you have something that you wanted to?
It's because I'm dealing with fucking incompetent knobs. That's why I've no patience for fucking stupidity. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs.
From somebody that couldn't define pressure.
Oh my God.
You're not getting the opportunity because you're a biased little fucking shit stain. Steve, you're no fucking funny or clever, son. You're a fucking incompetent little dick squeeze.
David,
that's what you are.
Steve and please.
I don't know what the hell he's even saying, so it doesn't really matter.
Did you want to respond to Reds? I don't want this is not going to be a Steve versus Dale thing at all.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that either.
I want to try to stick to what we're here to talk about. Gav, will you respond to what Reds said there?
Yeah, so first of all, what we said was demonstrate something to us practically in lived life that we can do ourselves, which he hasn't done. He's shown us some rockets apparently going into an assumed space, which we deny. There is no proof for a space. You guys are making claims and you have no proof for it apart from visible images. So I don't think he's responding to the claim or to responding to the request at all.
Okay,
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah,
let me go ahead and just respond to that. I'm not saying that rocket is going to stay in space. What I'm demonstrating with that video is that our atmosphere is next to a vacuum, and that has been demonstrated in objective reality. Now, you, sir, do you now deny objective reality, which is something that you can verify yourself? And if you're not, and if you're not denying objective reality, which has been shown to you, then please explain the contradiction that is your position.
So you've just said that you are assuming a space is a vacuum. I have no proof for that. That's a claim that you will first have to prove before you can go further.
The definition of space is, he thinks, is a vacuum. It's a lower pressure. But actually, the more formal definition of space is 100 kilometers up. That's the formal definition of space. And does he deny that 400 kilometers up exists? Of course, if you ask him, he's gonna waffle on that, won't he? So Rev MSJ says we need subtitles for that one drunk Irish guy. I love it. He's Scottish. That's so funny. But yes, call him that. That's perfect. Del, you're just a drunk Irish guy. Rick says, Flat Earther, I'll destroy you in a debate. My only stipulation, no facts, reality, presuppositions, hypotheticals, or words in general. Only I speak. That's it. That's it. Okay. Oh, I got a couple here. We got Roger that says, has throwing around flurfs given you an edge in your Frisbee crusade? I'm not a very good player. I'll tell you that. I'm not very good. I'm not a great coach. I'm a fill-in coach. when a different coach that's better isn't there, I'll fill in because I can teach how to throw, or more specifically, I can tell them to line up and throw, and I can tell them, well, here's a couple basic strategies. But yeah, when it's anything complex, and is you want me to be a good player? I'm sorry, somebody else is I could be the last one picked. That's fine. Generally Shady says Red's face repelled an alien invasion. Ugly AF. We want to hear Dell scream freedom. You won't. I don't think so.
Okay, sounds good. Can you please replay the video at 3 minutes 45 seconds?
Prove to me that there is a space of a vacuous space.
Listen, look, he doesn't believe in space. I think is where the issue is. So
I don't get. That's the thing. I don't give a shit whether he believes in space or not. What I'm trying to demonstrate is that our atmosphere is next to a vacuum, and guess what? Whether you want to call that vacuum space or not is irrelevant.
Yeah, he actually
demonstrated that it's a vacuum.
I want to know.
They do believe in a pressure gradient. They've said they believe in a pressure gradient. So
look at him talk.
What do you
Why?
think space is?
I don't know. I'm not claiming the space.
Gareth, Red's rhetoric has waffled on for the last 20 minutes about pressure gradients. Nothing to do with what we actually fucking stated in the first place. And he keeps continuing to waffle and refer to this video that's got nothing to do with what we requested. Nothing to do with it.
Absolutely correct. So can we please progress to talk about natural science?
So let's go ahead and repeat what you guys were originally explaining, because obviously you guys must have forgotten your point in the midst of screaming. Your point whatsoever was that how can a pressurized atmosphere exist next to what you, Dell, called negative pressure? By the way, no such fucking thing. And you wanted evidence of this. So I showed you evidence of our atmosphere existing next to what you called negative pressure, Dell. So my advice is this: if you don't want your own words shoved up your ass, I'll recommend you remember them next time.
If that's your measurable scientific proof that when somebody asks for a practical demonstration and you show a video of a wee fucking light in the fucking sky, you're beyond help, son. You're an incompetent, delusional moron, right?
That light grew fairly big, didn't it?
Man, Dell is so angry, and the projection is through the roof.
What?
That light grew fairly big. It's almost as if the gas was expanding due to a lack of atmosphere, which debunks your bullshit. I love this game. Let's play some more.
The gas is expanding to equilibrium with the fucking surrounding gas.
Exactly.
No,
and if you kept going, what the fuck is going to happen?
Nothing. They're not going to go to a vacuum.
Okay, so apparently,
this is important. This is real important. Dell does not know what space is. He doesn't have a definition for space. Is it 100 kilometers up? Is it more than that? Is it a certain pressure, or is it what he thinks negative pressure? Is that what he thinks space is? He doesn't even know what space is. For him to say, prove to me that space exists. Whatever it is that you then present to him, he'll say that's not space, because he hasn't had the balls to define space or to actually accept the definition of space from people that talk about space, right? He's an angry little man who's trapped in a shed all by himself there, and very sad person. But we can laugh at him.
Grade that continuously gets less and less and less is not going to eventually equal a vacuum. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes.
That seems to be.
Gav, you have a college education. Please correct your friend here.
No, my friend is absolutely correct. You guys are, again, you're assuming things, and you're presuming that there's a space and a vacuum, and you're not representing the claims.
We're not assuming.
Let's move to something else. Let's talk about something else.
No, let's not. The atmospheric pressure gradient.
Let's talk about water. Let's talk about bendy water. Show me some practical demonstration of curved water, please. Yeah. Oh, great.
Hang on, Gav. Hang on, Gav. Go ahead, Jim. The
atmospheric pressure gradient is well understood. It's well known. We can all experience it. All we have to do is drive up a hill and our ears pop. We know the effects of pressure. These are things that we do experience in reality. And if there can be a difference in pressure between the bottom of a mountain and the top of a mountain, and we know that that continues at least as far as the aircraft that we travel on go, at what point do you think this stops or suddenly requires a barrier for some reason? Why do you believe that?
Because that's reality.
Because
Jeremy, that's
lived life.
reality. How does he know it's reality? Does he just get to declare it?
So at what point does it stop being a gradient, and why?
I don't know.
You tell us. You're the guys that are making this shit up. You tell us.
Well, okay. So you don't believe there is a pressure?
When it goes into a vacuum, a space that you're assuming exists.
Gav, do you accept the fact that pressure is different at the base of a mountain as it is at the apex of the mountain? Do you believe that they're the same pressure, or no? Are they the same pressure? I'm not asking you. Are they at the same pressure, or are they not at the same pressure?
The medium gets rarer as higher. Yes.
Okay, so there's a pressure gradient.
Yep.
That depends on your terms and definitions of a pressure gradient, Steve.
No, it doesn't. There's no definition of pressure gradient that does not match a difference in pressure between different locations.
Finish.
You're really how you want to define pressure gradient?
Let him finish.
Am I having a fucking stroke right now?
Yes.
I don't know. This is bizarre.
Guys, if it's just going to continue like this, that we don't get an opportunity to explain our points, and you guys are just going to
I'm asking you to explain. Take your time to explain.
Everybody. Hold on, Gab. Go ahead and tell your side. Nobody interrupt him until he gets finished, please.
Okay.
Gab, go ahead.
Well, I've actually forgotten. What was the question again?
Oh my gosh. He gets an opportunity to explain it. He begged for the opportunity, and now he doesn't remember.
Okay, the question again is, do you accept as a pressure gradient from the base of a mountain to the top of the mountain? Do you accept that there's different pressure there?
Yes, I accept that medium gets rarer as it goes up further, but what I wanted to say was we can talk about definitions of pressure and the terms and the terminology that's used to define pressure.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that would be something that we would need to dive into, because when you guys bring up things like pressure gradients and you're assuming things like space exists, which I deny that there is any proof for that claim, then we can't have a further discussion about that, because lived life tells me that we need a container, and you guys are saying that we don't need a container. You're bringing in pressure gradients and the terms and the reference, the definitions of pressure gradients is sophistry, because you're using that to assume.
So defining pressure gradient is sophistry. Think about that. So sophistry is like a person that's pretending to debate a point, like somebody would be paid to debate a point. Is some of the early like sophistry accusations from thousands of years ago, and so he's misusing the term there completely.
Reds,
we can simply agree that space is a vacuum.
But there's no point in me discussing if I deny that space exists and you have no way of proving it.
We can just agree that space is a vacuum. You're claiming there's a vacuum.
No,
you're claiming the atmosphere
anything.
next to a vacuum. Let's just call space a vacuum. I'm happy to call it that.
You're claiming it's a vacuum. No.
You said the atmosphere can't exist next to a vacuum. You both repeatedly said that. So you're
Based
saying
on
it's a
the-
vacuum,
Yeah,
though? We'll just call it a vacuum.
That's correct.
If you don't
That
like
is
the word
correct.
space, vacuum, fine.
Okay.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. He won't even accept what the definition of space. Then he rejects that space exists. How can you reject that space exists if you won't even use the definition for space that the people use that you rejecting from? It doesn't make sense.
Let's not call it space. Call it a vacuum. Don't call it space if that's triggering you, dude.
Yeah.
But you're showing me pictures of atmospheric pressure apparently existing next to a space void vacuum. That is an assumption that you are making and have yet to prove.
He proved it.
Exists.
That video proves it.
Incorrect. There is no assumption in.
No,
I would not.
You've made that
Where is your
assumption.
rocket?
That's your argument.
Yeah.
Your argument
Yeah.
is
Where
that
is your-
pressure
where
cannot
is your
exist
rocket
next to a
going?
vacuum. You've made the
Yes,
assumption there's a vacuum there.
in live life, that's the way it is. You've came
But he's saying in live life. I don't know what does he mean by in live life.
here and you've tried to show that your rocket is going into a spacious void vacuum that I deny exists and that there's no proof for.
Yeah.
So where are we going from here?
Don't deny it. You said there's a vacuum there. You both said that.
Hang on, Jeff. Hang on. No. It's
Okay,
not.
well, there's
It's
no
not that
problem with
there's
an
no.
atmosphere then, is
Hang
there?
on.
There's no problem with
Hang on. It's not that there is no
guys.
proof for it. It's that, Gav, you are denying the proof despite evidence to the contrary being right in front of you.
No, you're assuming something that I deny. So how can we have a discussion?
By simply using your eyes.
Think
The
about
thing
it.
that you claim is the most important tool to you. Use your eyes and see the gas being expelled out the ass end of the rocket and see it expand. So tell me, is the gas not expanding? Are you seeing something that I'm not?
Expanding.
It's expanding into the pressurized environment. That's what it's expanding. You're not proving.
No. See, Del, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. That is where you're wrong.
Speak.
No, because the middle of my sentence can interrupt the beginning of yours.
Can I get a chance to speak?
No, I'm not done yet.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Shut up, Reds. The globe claim is that we live on a pressurized rock in a vacuous, empty fucking space.
No,
that's the claim
that's
that
not
we're
the claim.
addressing.
That's not the claim.
Okay, and that was the claim that's been shown to be true because
now Reds is allowing this word game to happen here, right? By accepting that vacuum of space is instead of a perfect vacuum, it's an approximate vacuum. Yep, it's an approximate vacuum. It's still pressurized actually, and so the pressure gradient just continues indefinitely.
As you can see with the fucking rocket, Del, shut up.
No.
My turn.
Del.
Okay.
Del, hold on.
So as the rocket was heading up and gaining altitude, the atmospheric pressure was getting less and less and less. That is why the expelled gases were expanding. Eventually, they expanded so fucking wide that you couldn't even see the gases anymore, i.e. a vacuum. So it started in atmosphere at regular atmospheric pressure at sea level, which is where Cape Canaveral is, and went to zero atmospheric pressure, thus demonstrating that our atmosphere is next to a vacuum. You guys wanted an example of something in objective reality. I gave that to you, and now you're denying it. Please explain the contradiction that is your position.
What happens to a gas when it's heated, Reds? It expands. Okay? So
He showed that.
when there's less pressure as you go up, it's expanding ever more rapidly. Okay? No way, shape, or form did your silly wee video prove the existence of the globe claim that we coexist next to a vacuous empty space and to a pressurized environment. Utter hogwash, son.
Wait a minute. Are you asserting that the rocket, hang on, are you asserting that the rocket nozzle gets hotter as it gains altitude? Because I can debunk that shit right now.
No. Is there hot gas? Is there hot gas coming out the back of the rocket?
Yes, there's hot gases being expelled out of the ass end of the rocket. That's the point.
What happens to gas when you heat it?
It expands.
Oh my god.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's what this video
guess
shows. It expands into lower pressure.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I love when they think they got a gotcha, and it's not. It's hilarious.
Hang on. Because here's the thing. If it was just expanding due to heat alone, then why was it expanding at different rates thanks to altitude? Thank you. It's amazing what happens when you use logic this time, huh?
Yeah.
Gav, listen. You have a college education. Can you please correct your friend?
He did it again.
Gav did say that he agreed already. He agreed already that there was a pressure gradient from the bottom of the mountain to the top. However, I don't understand how, if he accepts that, then obviously he accepts that it's not at equilibrium. Because it's a fluid system. It's not at equilibrium. There's obviously a higher pressure at the bottom than there is at the top. So that's not an equalized state. So how is that possible if what you're saying is supposed to be, well, you can't have a difference in pressure in a same system? Well, how do we have the fact that we have higher concentration of atmosphere at the base of mountain and lower at the top?
How do you even, the question at the very beginning?
That was a Gav. Sorry. My fault. That was the Gav.
How do you even create pressure in the first place, Steve, to even analyze it? How do you even create pressure to analyze it?
That was the Gav.
You can ask the same thing.
Yeah, I would ask the same thing. Tell me.
So it's a question to Gav, and he's going to deflect. Watch.
Question, but hang on. You can ask your question as soon as you answer mine. That's how it works. I asked you a question. Answer mine. I'll be happy to answer yours.
So what was the question?
Oh my gosh. He did it again. He's given a chance to speak, and he's like, oh, what was it again? Oh my gosh.
Is there a communication barrier here? I'm having to answer.
Just ask the question again.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
The question once again is, you've already established there's a pressure gradient from the bottom of the mountain to the top. How is that possible when you keep saying that there is no possibility of difference of pressure in the same system? You expect it to be at equilibrium. Those are your words.
Lies.
That's not at equilibrium, though. So why is there a pressure difference at the bottom of the mountain and the top if it should be at equilibrium according to what you said?
So how does this pressure get measured, Steve?
What? Oh my god!
Again, you're asking a question with a question, or you're answering a question with a question. I'm asking you a very specific question. Can I get a direct answer, or just you can't answer it?
Okay.
I'll answer that one. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask that to maybe
pressure gradient now.
There, let me ask that to Gem Panda, because you know what I'm asking, correct? No, hang on, Gem. You know what I'm at. I'm not interested in asking you, Gem. I asked him a question. To be able to answer.
Let him answer.
I'll go ahead, and then I do want Gem to answer.
Ask me, he says. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right.
Answer it next. Is that fair?
Cool.
Let him answer.
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead, Del.
So we're talking about pressures and the relationship between a pressurized system and a vacuum. Okay? That's the claim.
All right. This is a good chance to get to Josh Garver's question here. Super Chat says, do these people know the definition of a vacuum? And the answer to your question is no. Del previously said that he talked about the void of space, and specifically claimed that it was negative pressure. There's no such thing as negative pressure. Now, sometimes people who are not very smart on this topic, right? It's one thing to not know this. It's another to interject yourself into this as a debater and trying to yell and scream and swear at people that do understand this topic, and that yet not understand this topic. So the caveat there. Often pressure is measured relative to the pressure you're currently at. So when you put air pressure in the tires of your car, you put it to 30 psi, 35 psi, or 40 psi. That's your current pressure plus 40. So it's not at actually, let's say it's 40, or it's not 40 psi actually. It's actually 55 psi inside. But the pressure differential is the important part. So if you were to take that same tire and pressurize it to 40 psi more than you know what your equilibrium is at your house, your driveway, and then take that tire and put it into a pressure chamber and add 50 psi in that pressure chamber, well, now relative to the inside of the pressure chamber, which is not 50, it's 15 plus 50, 65. That pressure in the tire was 40 more than 15, so it's 55. So the tire actually has less pressure overall. So they'll call it gauge pressure and absolute pressure, and that's the difference. So gauge pressure is relative to your outside of, just the pressure that's in the vicinity right now. So typically when you use a pressure gauge, it gives you gauge pressure relative to the atmospheric pressure where you're at. So in that instance, it's possible to have a negative gauge pressure. Now, people that don't understand this topic don't even know that there is such a difference between gauge pressure and absolute pressure. And that's fine if you don't know that. It's not fine if you don't know that if you're trying to talk as if you know more about this topic than other people. It's not fine then. It's not acceptable. You need to understand these differences. It's not that big of a challenge. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so yeah, Josh, they don't know the definition of vacuum. He's talking about negative pressure. There's no such thing as negative pressure. There is negative absolute pressure, but when you're talking about going to space, negative, I misspoke. There's such thing as negative gauge pressure. But when you're talking about going to space, you're not talking about gauge pressure. You're talking about absolute pressure. And Dell either doesn't know the difference between the two or actually thinks that negative pressure is a real thing.
Nothing to do with my question.
So you just got to keep butting in.
Yeah,
Let him
if
finish.
you're not going to
Even if it's wrong, then you can clarify it.
Direct your question at me. Direct your question at me.
I've already asked it 4 times. Answer the question. You'll get plenty of time. Say you're done, and then I want Jen and Ann to actually try to talk about that question because my question doesn't involve space in any way, shape, or form.
Go ahead, Dell.
Ask me the question.
Oh my gosh.
The question for the 5th time is, if you're supposed to be an equalized state in a pressurized system, why is it that you have a difference of pressure at the base of a mountain and then the top of the mountain?
I don't know what you mean by equilibrium in a pressurized system. What are you talking about?
That's why I didn't ask you the question. That's why specifically why I didn't ask you the question. You don't understand the terms or something.
I've lost the relevance of what you're talking about, Steve.
Do you want to answer the question, Dale?
I'm trying to explain to you. I have lost the relevance of your question. I don't know what you're meaning by it.
Then why'd you want to answer it? Why'd you want to answer a question you didn't think was relevant? That seems silly to me.
Tell you what.
Douche.
We're not talking about the Earth.
Let Jim answer the question, and Dale can respond
exactly.
on what Jim. Dale, you can respond to what how Jim answers it or something he says that you find an issue with. Jim, answer that question.
Well, I mean, I would just go back to the examples that I've already given. That we all experience this. I mean, if you've ever been skiing and you go in the little shop there where you buy food and stuff, all the packets of crisps, you would call them potato chips, are all expanded. They're all bloated because there's a difference in air pressure between where they're packed and where they're sold. We know that there's a pressure gradient. It seemed like
just a question. Now, Jim Panda's in England. Where in England can you go skiing? Do they have ski hills in England? And maybe they do. I don't know. I know they do in the mainland, on the continent, as they say. But in England, are there actually ski hills? That's interesting. And I know it's middle of the night, so there might not be a lot of English people in the chat here to answer the question.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, Gavin, because you were kind of cut off. But it seemed like you were about to say, you were.
Oh yeah, I'm saying England. I'll expand it to the UK.
Saying how are these things measured? It seems like you're trying to divest yourself of pressure gradients, and you're trying to say, well, maybe there isn't one, or maybe it can be called into doubt because we can't practically demonstrate it in front of you. I mean, this gradient exists, and if there's a difference in pressure between the bottom of a mountain and the top of a mountain, and between the top of a mountain and the altitude that an aircraft flies, I don't have a reason to believe that stops at some point. If you have a reason to believe that, I would like to hear it.
Go ahead. We would all like to hear it.
Yeah, but I personally, I think none of you guys have answered the original question that I asked. This is a misrepresentation of what was originally requested from you guys to demonstrate.
So you're not going to address what Jim said.
Stop butting in, Steve.
No, yeah.
Let everybody finish answering the question, and then we will respond based on how you, Gav, finish answering.
Angry little guy.
The question, let us know when you're finished, and then we will respond, even if it's incorrect or doesn't go with what the question is.
I'd like to
give
go
him a chance
next
to
after Gav.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah, so this is we're now an hour into this, and we keep going round in circles. We're not having a reasonable discussion at all. So when we're asking something,
of course you're not having a reasonable discussion, because Gav and Dell are not reasonable people.
We're getting misrepresentations of what we're asking for. We're being showing videos. We're being sucked into discussions on pressure gradients. It was very clear that we said, how can you practically demonstrate this in lived life? And you guys haven't been able to show it. So, at the moment, I think we should move on to another topic, because this is just going round in circles.
Okay, I agree we need to go into another topic. But in all fairness, they did give you an example. It's just that you didn't accept what the example was.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they give you an answer.
But that's because
Oh, this is great. Lisa says Dell is reminding me of the angry elf scene in Elf. The angry, the little person. That one? That was great. A super chat from Captain Hapton. Love that name. Says, hey, MC, first time catching you live. I'm a CNC machinist by trade, so I try not to hold your engineering background against you. Now, my background's electrical engineering, and I'm not an electrical engineer. I've written software for my career. So, thank you for not holding it against me. I'm not an engineer. Not that it, I don't know why you'd hold it against me. Maybe it's because there's animosity between machinists and engineers. I don't know. I don't work in the industry, so I don't know where the bristling exists between people. But thank you anyway for that, Captain Hapton.
Because the example was not representative of what we asked. Yeah, that's not what we asked. You guys are.
You were asking for a demonstration that was done in reality.
Are we going to go round again?
No, we're getting ready to move on. We're getting ready to move on.
We'll just let you avoid answering the question, because obviously you can't explain why there's a difference in pressure between the top of the mountain.
If you could properly...
It's a shame you can't explain that. You really ought to be able to, but there you go.
So, right? They asked it and they can't explain it.
Wrap this segment up. We're going to go.
Wrap the segment up.
Yeah, we're going to go into another example, but go ahead and wrap.
All right,
this up.
Fine. I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here.
He's gonna drill it in.
You were asking Dell, shut up for half a second. God damn.
Just chill.
So
he's still talking.
Sounds good to me. I was told to wrap this up, so I'm going to try and wrap this up. So here it goes.
Just the pressure part. We're going on to another.
Yeah, just the pressure part. I get this. Let me wrap this up. Jesus. Okay, so we were asked to demonstrate in reality. All right? We were asked to demonstrate something in reality, something that they like to call objective reality. When shown something that has been done and demonstrated in objective reality, which these guys could verify for themselves if they just bought a fucking plane ticket, all of a sudden it's not good enough because reasons. We weren't given any reasonable counter to the video I showed. We were given no reasonable explanation when it comes to pressure gradients, and we were given jack shit for evidence to show that pressure gradient is going to arbitrarily stop at a given altitude. So these guys, if they want to go ahead and say that they care about objective reality, I would recommend at this point that they start practicing what they fucking preach.
Amen.
Wrap up.
Okay.
Next topic.
Gav. Okay, Gav. Now, tell us what your next example of why the globe model is ridiculous. What would be your next piece of evidence?
I'd just like to maybe just very briefly respond to that rhetoric.
Del, I don't know. I know later on he's not here. There's a point at this where he's not here anymore. But I don't know if this is where he leaves it or if is he getting his toys and leaving? I don't know.
Sure, because, and then go into your next example.
Yeah. I won't bother. No, let's just go to the next example. So it's an absurd claim to think that water can bend and conform to the exterior of a shape. So could you guys practically demonstrate how large standing bodies of water can do that? And I know you'll probably want to invoke gravity, which is going into mathematics from Isaac Newton. And I don't think we should go there, because what we want to see is a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water. And that contradicts...
A practical demonstration. I'm going to write this down. A practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water. Hold on. All right, I got my pencil here. Practical demonstration, large bodies, curved water. Now, typical flat earther gives a rather nebulous demand. You must give me this, so that later they can move the goalposts. But before we let them go on, Josh Garver again comes in with the $20 super chat. Says, why do UK people say bottle? Ask them where all the T's went. Now, here's where it went, Josh. I adhere to the conservation of consonant sounds. So for the people in England that say bottle and don't have the T's in there, there's somebody else somewhere that's overpronouncing T's or putting T's in where they should not exist. Now, I don't know specifically where. Maybe some people can think of some examples, but I'll give you an example of something else. We've got some family on my wife's side from Wisconsin. And now when something is dirty, when say your hands are dirty and you need to go to the sink and you're going to get them undirty, you would wash your hands. But in Wisconsin, they don't do that. They wash their hands. Somehow this R appeared. I don't know where the R came from. And then, but there's a consistency here. For every person in Wisconsin doing the wash, there's somebody in Boston parking their car. Right? They're parking their car. So there's actually two R's missing there. So there must be two washes going on in Wisconsin. So for bottle, where's I don't know where the T's went to, but somebody borrowed them somewhere else. And is saying, now I'll give you another one. In Minnesota, the things that you put on your hand that don't have fingers, not gloves, the things that your fingers are all together and your thumb is separate, right? Those things, those are in Minnesota, we call them mittens. Notice that there's no T in there. You spell it with two T's. Again, just like bottle, the T's left. I don't know. There maybe is a stockpile of T's. Just waiting for some language, evolution to start dropping the T's. Oh, you know what? It's French. It's the French. For example, in the bathroom, the thing that sprays water on your bottom, B-I-D-E-T. But how do they pronounce it? Bidet. Where'd the T go? Crap, hold on. That's the opposite. More spare T's. I don't know. For some reason, the T's are getting shortchanged here. Where are they all going? Where are these extra T's showing up? They have to, right? And of course, Mr. T gets one of them. Only one. I don't know. There's a bunch more. The French are a bad example. E-A-U-X is pronounced O. Yeah. Leaving the khakis in their khakis. We all drink the tea. I don't know. Oh, it could be. All right. Well, I adhere to the conservation of consonant sounds. Those T's are somewhere. Bottle and mitten, they are somewhere. I don't know where. Someday the mystery shall be solved, but not today.
Lived life.
Reg, do you have a large body of water with you? Do you have a large body handy that you can demonstrate with? I don't, actually.
Jim Panda. Hang on. Actually, Jim Panda, unfortunately, I have figured out a way to bend reality to make a large body of water fit into my pocket. So I'm just going to unfold it. I'm giving it to Steve right now. Steve, could you please play the video of the large body of water, please?
I am on it. Actually, I give it to our producer.
There we go. We're already off. We're
already way ahead of you. We got it ready for you. We got your answer.
Got it ready. Let's go ahead and play this shit. Let's play it from any point. It doesn't matter because it's absolutely fucking amazing. Because there's not one, not two, not three, but 4 examples of this bendy water, and there you fucking go.
So remember, practical demonstration, large bodies of curved water. That's what they're asking for.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Horizontal axis of the instrument.
This is
a pretty spectacular picture.
What we're seeing here is the Lake Pontchartrain live stream from Soundly. Soundly was able. Hang on. Not done yet. 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 Not.
That's great. They won't shut up.
Done yet.
Except Reds can talk.
Thank you. So what you're seeing in the bottom right-hand corner is a 3D model that was based on the known dimensions of the globe. And what you're seeing in the top left is the actual observations from the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. And would you fucking notice that they match perfectly? And this is over water, which you were asking for proof of.
Now Reds hit that T too hard. I think he pronounced it with 2. So we have one. Another T that we found.
Bending. What do we see here? Bendy water. I rest my fucking case. Again, done in objective reality. There's a curve there in objective reality, as predicted by the globe and as done by observations that you can do yourself.
Okay, Gav?
Well, yeah, you've got to be kidding me, right? You're showing me videos and images of are you guys really not understanding this? Is this are you guys so incredibly dense? Show me. Tell me how I can prove to myself that we can bend water. Well, maybe I'll ask it slightly differently. At what radius of the Earth does water start to bend? Could you give me a mathematical formula for that, please?
A mathematical formula for when water starts to bend?
At what radius of the Earth will water start to bend?
Give me a number. It will start to bend at any radius. If you had an actual graph of physics like you claimed, then you would know that.
So like 10 centimeters? When will it start to bend? Yeah, you guys really are incredibly dense.
Gav,
hang on. All they're willing to do right now is throw invectives and insult people. They're not adding any to the conversation. They're not adding anything to the validity of the conversation. They're just insulting and just being intriguing.
I got this.
Let me finish this because I have to ask.
They ask for a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water. They're given a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water, and they absolutely melt down and go into insults and so many insults. These people, they're not just dumb. This is evil. This is an evil response. They were given exactly what they wanted, and their response is to lash out like that. This isn't what normal people do. This is just awful.
There's a question on this, but I'm not going to put up with just people insulting. So if they're going to insult Gabe from here on out, whatever, just mute them. It's not worth the time because we want to have their arguments. If they want to present their arguments, great. We'd love to hear it. They have plenty of time to discuss their arguments. But if you had a sphere of water in a microenvironment where there's no gravity, would that water stay in a spherical shape? And would that mean bending by what they're meaning by bending?
Yes.
Okay. So can you ask them?
He knows that he's muted.
If in a microgravity environment or in a no gravity environment where you have a sphere of water, would that sphere of water stay spherical? That's what they're asking about candy. I think that's a fair question.
Actually, it would. This can be done by zero-G flights, but I just want to point out to what Gav said. Gav said, at what radius? Radius means sphere. So if you have a sphere with sufficient enough gravity and you put a fluid on there that is being interacted by that gravity, it will start to bend. Now, you can go ahead and talk about the scale of the bending another time, but I have a more direct question for you, Gav. Are you denying what this observation was showing in, quote, objective reality that you can demonstrate yourself?
Yes, I'm denying that.
So Gav denies objective reality, guys. We're officially done.
He denies objective reality. Okay, fair enough.
You're denying objective reality. This was done with not only the flat Earth camera choice, but you could do this shit yourself.
Guys, everybody can see what you guys are playing at. Sorry, this is so obvious getting, right?
I'm not sure that's
yeah, I think you got a bad read on that one.
After all, they are making the wanker gesture.
Yeah, I mean, the arguments are just so...
university education that he's able to make the wanker sign.
This is bizarre. This is bizarre.
It's kind of strange because...
Wait,
this is where Dell... He's race quitting. Yeah, Dell's rage quit.
Where we start singing that goodbye song because I'll start dancing.
Okay,
well, Gav has a rage quit. Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah, Dell rage quit there. Dell's buddy asked for a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water, and they were given that. And then he went into a rage-filled insult streak. When he was muted and knew he was muted, he couldn't even contain himself, and he kept going with the rage-filled insult streak. This is 6 years ago. This idiot still sits in his echo chamber, his shed of anger, and yells, with all the while rejecting any claim of himself. He doesn't think that he needs to make any claims. This is a horrible person. Right? An absolute prick. Yep.
Gav can actually have a conversation now without the road raging of Dell. He needs to switch DK.
Stop that, Steve, please.
Okay. So Gav,
are we all muted? No,
you're good. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and respond.
Yeah, especially with
stop the ad hominems. Could you please stop the ad hominems?
Wait a second. Your side is saying stop the ad hominems? You seriously? Oh my gosh.
Done.
Yes. No, I haven't said anything bad. We've listened to nothing but Red's rhetoric and Gem Panda swearing and all kinds of shit all the time. So
I haven't sworn.
Wow. He's complaining about their swearing in the same sentence he swears.
So you just
now that Dell's gone and you're here, We're going to start new.
What a piece of garbage.
Real quick, try to have a meaningful conversation. So, Gav, will you please present what you have against what Red just kind of explained to you about the lake video that you just saw?
So visibles are no proof of practical reality.
Visibles are no proof of practical reality. So when he asked for a practical demonstration of large bodies of curved water, he excludes visuals. Well, what is acceptable?
If you guys are seriously telling me that showing a video with visible pictures and images, I want to be able to see bendy water practically. You cannot get that in live life. And you guys, is it okay if I speak?
Yeah, I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
I mean, this is a problem, Kyle. So I don't really see this being a very good moderated show, right? I think we've not really had much time to speak. We've been talked over multiple times. You did say to me that it would be fair. I don't really see this being fair. But
I have to tell you that sure, I understand that, and that's completely your right to feel that way. It's very difficult to try to keep, for me anyway, 5 people kind of wrangled in line without just saying I'm going to mute everybody, and I don't like to do that in this kind of environment. I am doing the that I absolutely can to keep it as fair, but in this environment and when people get heated and passionate, it is rather difficult. So it's your right to feel that way, but I am trying to be as fair as I possibly can. But I wanted to ask you, how can you, or what would be an example of a demonstration or proof that they could give you outside of if you're not willing to take the video, what type of evidence are you willing to take? Because obviously we can't go out right now on this show and show you water bending. So
this is a good point, Glober Mom. She had said it earlier, that they make themselves into the victims here. Gav, you're not the victim. Del, you're not the victim. You're the bad guys here.
If videos won't do it, what are you looking for in terms of evidence?
I'm looking for to you guys to explain to me.
Again, it will be no answer to this, right? He says visuals don't count. The question to him is, what will you accept? What will you accept?
That the claim that you guys make that water can conform to the outside of a sphere, which is something that you cannot do in reality, you cannot do in live life. I would ask you to explain that absurdity.
Okay, well, my question is, he just showed you how that works. So if you're not willing to take a video, what type of?
It showed me images. He showed me images. Yeah, okay. I would want something that everybody can practically demonstrate for themselves.
People can go to that very same spot and do that practically for themselves.
And that doesn't mean that doesn't mean taking a picture of water. It means dealing with the substance itself and showing it to bend.
Okay, give me an example of the substance that you want, though. We're on a show right now.
Show me bending water. Tell me.
Show me bending water, but he won't accept visuals. You see how he's contradicting himself? These people are mentally ill.
And I can go out into reality and bend water.
Gav, go to that same lake. Gav, you can go to that same lake.
Gav, you're at. Hang on, Gav. Let me just go ahead and make sure people understand what you're asking me here. You're asking me to physically manipulate a large body of water like a lake, dude. Are you Aquaman?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, practical demonstration of large bodies of water, large bodies of curved water. But he doesn't want it to be already curved. He needs to show it being curved and uncurved. You know, a large body of water has to be curved and uncurved. So that's the new position of the goalposts here.
Exactly the absurd thing that you are claiming, that large standing bodies of water can bend. No, you're claiming that.
You're asking me.
You're claiming that.
Gab, you're asking me to become a fucking waterbender from Avatar. It doesn't work like that.
Are you claiming that large standing bodies of water, the place is covered in fucking water? Do you claim that large bodies of water can bend around spheres? Is that what you are claiming?
Gav, I am not. I am answering your question.
Stop yelling over each other. Jesus Christ. Nobody can hear when both of you, Gav, you paused. He started talking. Let him finish.
I will answer your question. I am not claiming that water can bend over large areas. I am demonstrating that water can bend over large areas, as the video clearly shows. And to your second question, you said, how can I demonstrate this for myself? Simple. Go out to a large body of water, preferably Lake Pontchartrain in beautiful Louisiana, take a Nikon P900 and fucking zoom in. Better yet, get in contact with Sally and he'll hold your hand for you just in case you screw it up. That's how you can do it.
Can I get in here as well? Can I get in here quickly? Gavin made the claim that this was impossible in lived life. So how do you know that this is impossible?
Because all lived life, whether it's a container of water, shows that water is level. Our whole world is built on that principle of leveling with a substance that levels when it's in a container. Now you are claiming that it can conform to the. Can I finish? I'm not going to play this game either, guys. If you just
please go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Please go ahead. So how have you determined that water that you've just shown me, how have you determined that isn't bending slightly around the curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, but does your house bend around the curvature of the Earth? Does your house slope from one side to the other? Because otherwise you're going to have to ask the carpenter how you level.
You made the claim that this is impossible. How do you know that this is impossible? All you've done is show me some water.
You're denying reality again.
All you've done is show me a bit of water and say it looks level. It looks level. If in a hypothetical world, the water in your bottle was curving round an Earth with a 29,000 mile circumference, the amount of curvature in that bottle of water would be minute, and you would need some very sophisticated and accurate measuring equipment to determine if it was or wasn't curved. So your claim is that water bending round a curve is impossible. How do you know that it's impossible?
I just did the math. I wrote a program for it a while ago. Let's say that the bottle of water he's holding there is 10 centimeters. It's probably less. It's probably more. Let's do this. Let's say it's 30 centimeters, which is about a foot, right? We'll give him a little extra. 30 centimeters. In 30 centimeters, the curvature claim for the globe is how many degrees? Right? 0.0000003 degrees. The sagitta of the curve, which is the when you have a curve, the sagitta is the height of the peak, right? So if you have a curve and you draw a straight line from one side to the other, that's called a chord. And then you've got the arc. The arc is longer than the chord, but the middle of the arc and the middle of the chord, that's the highest or the largest gap between them. That's called the sagitta. And I need to modify my program a little bit here to output more significant figures because it wasn't enough. Nope, I still need more. Oh my goodness. There we go. It's below the threshold of this program's precision to calculate. I have to update how my program does its precise calculations. It's in Python. I'm going to have to use a different library just to do the math for that. It's so minute that I think it's somewhere. What's the normal Python precision, 9 digits. I don't know. It's too far deep. The amount of curve. This is flat Earth. Is how incredibly dumb they are. In that bottle of water, how much curve should there be? He doesn't know. The actual answer is that the amount is so small that you would need something exceedingly precise just to measure it. Certainly his eyes aren't it. All right. We've got a couple super chats here quick. Kiwi Burb says, I want a practical example that Dell understands the meaning of the word practical, but no visuals, please. It can't be done with visuals. Josh Garver says the T's are in the harbor. We were talking about Boston. Yep, the T is in the harbor. We found it. We discovered where all those T's went. They, in the past, they borrowed from future T's and dumped them in the harbor in Boston in the 1700s. Amazing. That's a good one. 420 Hitter says, do people who stutter take those extra T's? Yes. That's another place for those T's. I don't care says, I love it when flurfs call us toxic. Fuels me. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you didn't see the video that I put out on my Conspiracy Tunes channel yesterday, you'll see toxic. Axis of Rotation says, bro, I have no words. I'm speechless for once. Yeah, these they're hilarious.
No, I answer my first question. You are in fact claiming that water can bend and it's just so minute that we cannot measure it. Is that your claim? Yes or no?
In the bottle?
I'm not making a claim. I'm asking you about your claim.
You are making a claim. You believe in a ball where that happens. So that's the claim that you're making.
That's a good job there, Gem Panda. Gav just reversed everything. Gav claimed that the water in his bottle is he said level, but he means flat, right? Flat earthers often conflate the definition of flat and level. The wall behind me is flat, but not level. The definition of level is the curved surface of the earth. I can here. Book on surveying here. All right. You'll get to see this book in action here. Let's see. Need the upper camera. Come on, upper camera. There it is. Right there. So, let me jump up to here, which is where is my current spot I'm reading. There it is. It's probably a little difficult to see, but I can make it bigger. Let me move the microphone a little bit. So you don't get to redefine the words for other people. If you want to use a different word, maybe that's a good idea. But you don't get to redefine words. So, all right, I'm going to zoom in a bunch on this. Hopefully it's a little bit not focused, but right here, these two lines right here, this one and this one are level lines, and they're curved. This word right here, this is level line. This is a curve right here. This says datum. Here, these two level lines right here. This one and this one. Level lines. So you don't get to decide a different definition for the word level. If you don't like it, you don't need to like it. But you don't get to choose the definition. It is already defined. If you want to use the word flat, that would be fine. And if you want to redefine level to mean flat, then it's going to be a little, it's disingenuous. But of course, you got a lot of flurf. Yeah, all right, to review, Gavin claimed that the water in the bottle was level, meaning flat, yet produced no measurements of it.
I asked you first, Gavin, and my question was, why do you believe that this is impossible? What reasons do you have for that?
I'm just going. No, the claim is, your claim is that large.
I haven't made a claim. I've been very careful not to make a claim because I'm playing the same game you are, mate. You made the claim that this is impossible.
Do you believe in the quote?
You made the claim.
Do you believe in the
You
quote?
made the claim that this is impossible. Answer the question. Why are you avoiding the question?
Stop. Jim, Gav, all he wants to do is talk over you. All Gav does, every time you've said something, Gav has just interrupted you and talked over you. It's not productive. That's the only thing he's been doing.
I'm leaving this call again. I'm going to leave this.
Thank you very much,
Kyle.
Take your toys and run off.
I'm disappointed.
Sorry, get a refund from whatever school you went to.
Yeah, we're bringing in 2 other flat earthers that can actually maybe have a conversation because all these 2 want to do
get a refund. Get a refund, Gav.
Get a refund.
You guys are a bunch of sophist wankers, and you've got absolutely nothing. Yeah?
If you were able to.
Now, he was just a minute ago complaining about being somebody else sending out insults. Oh, poor Gav.
Get your ass kicked by some no-name kid from Florida. You need a better education.
Yeah, I don't understand how you went through. Let me just throw this out because you're leaving.
Steve, hang on. I'll go ahead and ice myself here, Gab. Hang on, Gab. I'll go ahead and ice myself here. I'll go ahead and ice myself here, Gab. Mute this fucker. Listen.
Yeah, mute.
Gab, are you leaving or are you staying? Are you leaving or are you staying? Are you leaving or are you staying?
Hang on, Gab, I will ice myself here. I am a fucking nobody from Florida. If I was able to easily debunk your fucking nonsense, what does that say about your educational level? Get a fucking refund and come back when you actually have something to offer. Shithead.
Yeah, if Reds can debunk you, I mean, come on.
Okay. Now, they went from 2 toxic flurfs to, so far, 1 other toxic flurf. Who, it's not a very easily recognizable angle of his face, but who recognizes that? No, you don't get to answer if you saw this before. Only answer if you've not seen this before and you recognize who just popped in. Which toxic flurf just popped in. This is amazing. I've not seen this part. I watched clips up to here, but this, right, that was all dumpster fire. But this guy can dumpster fire too. He's toxic as can be. All right, nobody has it. This isn't a good view of him. It's not Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy, Wolf Paint. No. The Sun Express says can't remember the name. You got -8 QE, negative $. Is that my cousin McFlatty? No. DMOC? No. Witsit? No. Ulysses S. Grant? Flatsoid? No. No clue. Wow. And it's got the wrong name there. It's Frank Rizzo. Frank Rizzo. I love Jerky Boys. No, not one. Nobody. It's not Liley. All right. Well, nope. You're gonna kick yourselves.
All right, so we're gonna bring in 2 other people. I think we've got. Is this?
They're gonna give us a link.
Yeah, this is Jason of Awake Souls.
I gave it away.
Okay, what's up, Jason? I didn't want to use your first name because I didn't want to dox you, but so.
I'm gonna grab an alcoholic beverage. I'll be right back. 5 seconds.
Good idea.
All right, we're getting one more link for somebody else, if you guys don't mind. So give us like 30 seconds here. And Jason, you want to like introduce yourself a little bit? I know you from the live chat. I know a little about your channel, but
yeah, that's Awake Souls. Jason from Awake Souls.
Can you kind of like tell us about your positions?
Sure, great. Yeah, I'm a flat earther. I've been one for a couple of years. I do have a flat earth proof video on my channel. It's called the Flat Earth River Proof. I I love searching for the truth, and
yet he's never found it.
I've been doing a bunch of it. I found Earth to be flat. I am a Christian. Part of the flat Earth for me, it reawakened me to the truth of the Bible. So I grew up knowing the Bible. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and I left that. I left it for scientism, and
whenever you hear them say scientism, you know they don't understand how science works.
So I totally, when the internet came along, broadband came along, I totally dove into that. And I guess I was looking for my way out of Christianity. I had the cognitive dissonance bias. And so the whole heliocentric model, space, all of that, I was a full buy-in on it. So I went through troubles in my life, becoming a globe, Earth, heliocentric, scientism to the max type person. What happened to me personally is I became very self-serving and hedonistic.
And he's gotten more since he became a flurf. He's super toxic.
And it's just all about me all the time. So it ran my life into the ground. I ended up getting divorced, and I took the opportunity to do.
As far as I know, the divorce was after Flat Earth. I don't know. Anybody can correct me on that?
Deep self-inflection and try to figure out some of the deeper questions about why are we really here and stuff like that. So the atheism began to fade away, and I started seeking spirituality, and I went through the Eastern religions, Buddhism, Taoism, all of those types of philosophies, and got to the point where I considered myself enlightened. I've come to find out later that it's not really enlightened, but it's non-duality, and it's a whole nother topic. But I've done a lot of research on a lot of subjects, and Flat Earth.
By research, he means he uncritically accepted things that Flat Earthers said.
Is one of them. And so I'm not familiar with you guys. I'm sorry, but thank you for hosting the platform here where we can have that we can have a discussion about this. And I've heard of Red's rhetoric, and I understand him to be a strong globe believer proponent. And I feel like I've researched this enough to be able to defend Flat Earth really well. And so if Reds would like to debate with me over the shape of the Earth, that'd be wonderful. I'd like it to.
This is a good one. Matu says if he had actually studied Taoism, I picked this up too when he said it, he would know it's not pronounced like he pronounced it. So that's another lie. Yeah. Actually, here's another example of a T that's going missing, except for when Jason says it. It's not Taoism, it's Taoism. Now, somewhere a D showed up, so the T went into the Boston harbor. I don't know how to say harbor in a Boston accent. And a D showed up from somewhere else. I don't know where.
I'd like it to be a civil discussion like this. We don't need to talk over each other. We don't need to bring in any ad hominem attacks. This isn't a personal issue because I don't know you guys. I don't know Red's rhetoric. I don't have any pony in that game. It's just a discussion about what we believe is true in this world.
This is a good one. Black Bum Big Dragon says that in my experience, these Christians who claim that they were once atheists are all lying. They were never atheists. I think that's generally the case, right? He said that he was a Jehovah's Witness, and then he got into atheism somehow, or scientism, he said. But yeah, I don't think he ever became an atheist. I'm not buying that. I mean, I can't speak to what really happened, but I'm not buying it.
Is that cool?
Yeah, dude. Thrilled to death. You've already demonstrated that you can actually have a conversation. So yes.
And David, I sent you an updated layout. Just in case take away the two names. So I want the that to be misconstrued. So we'll just switch those out. Do we have the other guy yet, Steve? Or are we still waiting?
Yeah, rating on Russian vids. I have given him.
Oh my gosh!
Accepted it, so he should be in here.
Okay. So before we get into discussion, let me.
I didn't know it was RV.
Let me go into what we have coming up. If you got that ready, we can go through while we're waiting on the other guy to come through. That'll be a good time filler. That way we can let everybody know what's happening for the rest of the week. If you
is there any way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any way we could get the name with me changed? Because
he totally just missed the whole thing that he said to Dave. Come on, Jason, keep up.
We're going to be doing that right now. We've already got a new layout, and the new layout will have the new information on it.
Cool.
But we're going to be rolling some stuff.
So tomorrow, guys, we have the rescheduled Jehovah's Witness debate with Telltale Atheist and Lloyd Evans. That will be with an active Jehovah's Witness member. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Tuesday, we will be talking to the author of Mind Virus, Charles Kowalski, who wrote a book about what if atheism.
We have before.
An actual coming tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So what approach is that all about? I'm curious.
He is a active Jehovah's Witness. We have two of our really good friends, content creators, really big content creators here actually on YouTube. Telltale Atheist and Lloyd Evans, who owns the YouTube channel John Cedars. They are both former Jehovah's Witnesses. They go through in their videos and explain how, or their experiences, how they kind of got out of it, what they went through. And we had actually been trying to find an active Jehovah's Witness to come speak to them because they had questions, and it was really hard to do that. No active Jehovah's Witness wanted to come and be a part of that. We finally found one, so they're going to be coming back tomorrow to answer their questions.
Do that. I can do that. I can play that part really, really well. I was a Bethelite, so I was at their headquarters for almost 2 years. I was a pioneer. I was the leader of their, the quick build Kingdom Halls. I was running crews for that.
Are you active now?
I was probably No. I left when I was mid 25. It was my intro with the going to scientism and all that, the heliocentric model.
Yeah. Well, the reason that this is kind of unique is because this guy's actually still in it. He is an actual still practicing Jehovah's Witness, and to have one of them willing to come on to kind of do that is rare. So that's the kind of angle that we're coming from on this one. Like he's going to actually be responding to their questions as a active practicing Jehovah's Witness, which rarely happens.
This is only to Scientology. Get one of them. We're trying to get a Scientologist. If you know any Scientologists, they're active. Please send them our way. They're seem to be non-existent.
This is so synchronistic right now because Ronnie of the Limitless channel and myself, Jason of Awake Souls, we were actually at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses this morning, and we have live stream on his channel of us with an Earth is Flat billboard trolling the Jehovah's Witnesses and reading scriptures to them. And holy cow, what a coincidence that this is all happening. This is amazing.
Maybe you were meant to be here.
I think so.
Right. Maybe. Well, we'll find out. But
state your case.
Like
Get on with it.
Back on Flat Earth. So first, I just want to say, already you've demonstrated yourself to be a lot more polite and not angry as our last two guests. And hopefully that you'll have a great conversation with Reds or Jim Panda or both. Hopefully, if you want to start your position and then have them kind of address it, I'm completely fine with it. I'm pretty sure Kyle is.
And just so that we stick to the theme, can you be a little bit more dumpster fire for us? Like wildly wave your.
All right, let me read a couple super chats before we get into it. Too Much Vimtos has ever asked that fool Eric Dubay for a debate. I have. It's 3 years ago, I think. There's a short on my MC2 Live on this channel, challenging him to debate me. Silence. He won't debate. He demanded that Neil deGrasse Tyson debate. Now Neil doesn't do debates and has previously stated that he wouldn't debate Flat Earth. But Eric Dubay, by demanding that somebody else do a debate, has put himself forward as a debater. So should have no problem doing a debate, yet he won't do a debate. He actually recently put a video up trying to claim how debates are so useless. Talked about me in that video. So yeah, he won't. And then every once in a while, somebody comments on a video of mine accusing me of being too scared to debate Eric Dubay. I'm like, then I always give them the link to that video. And I'm like, you tell your Lord and Savior Eric Dubay that I'm ready as soon as he gets the courage to face me. And then Josh Garver says, I've seen this before, but I forgot Jason showed up. What a hand job. Yep. All right. Let's see if he can get to it here.
Gail, call Steve a couple names in between.
Yeah, call me call me things.
I'm not like that. This is all about the mental aspect, the truth. That is what we should truly all be after. And I'm in a situation in my life where I've overcome all fear. So I'm happy to talk about the evidence and things that I've come across with anyone in any situation.
Awesome.
And
start your best evidence and let them address it.
To be fair, Jason did come on my channel. I almost felt bad for how badly I beat the piss out of him. But then I watch more of his videos and see that he's an absolute toxic piece of garbage.
All right, so I guess I'll give some context so that we can, as a group, hone in on the most important points so as to not waste people's time. But so like I had said, I had felt like I had become enlightened, and I was sort of stuck in this situation where I had come to the realization that I was in a simulation.
He prefaced this with talking about not wasting time, and now he's wasting time.
I got this awareness through the enlightenment process. And people that do this, where they do an intense practice through meditations, yogas, separating themselves from the world, it's a very common theme, and they all teach the same thing. You know, the Buddha, all these different spiritual teachers taught us that it's the things that we hold in mind that tend to manifest, and that we are not the body. This is a common theme in the Eastern religions. And this is something that is verifiable. It is true that we are not the body, that this is not a radical material reductionist reality where things get broken down to the cellular level, and that's all we are, because consciousness is something that is independent of the body, and there's plenty of ways to demonstrate that. Out of body experiences are well documented. Near-death experiences well documented. So we are not the body, and I knew this from that Eastern religion.
It's just like Marcus Allen just rambling on. Well, we had to go downtown, and we didn't have the yellow onions. We had to get the white onions because of the war.
Spiritual research that I had done. And then I had been a truther. Things like 9/11 and Sandy Hook and all these other things came along. And
so an anti-truther.
I had dove into them, and I had come to the conclusion that there was a lot of conspiracies in place, and that there was, the media, the governments worked in coercion together. And I could easily be considered a conspiracy theorist, but wear the badge proudly, because I consider being a researcher and not a conformist to just pure propaganda. So
let me ask you a question real quick before we go on. Let me ask you a question real quick, just so that we kind of stick to one issue and dive in that, so that we can just jump straight in.
I was just going to take it to flat Earth.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's back on the flat Earth. If you want to have that discussion about simulation theory or reality, I can have that with you at another time.
Well, it all ties in, because the map and model is dependent on it. Because if the reality that we exist in is a simulation, and we can demonstrate it through simulations, all this type of stuff. I mean, as researchers, it's just part of it that has to be mentioned.
Okay.
So then flat Earth came across my plate.
There is no such thing as a self-proclaimed truther that is actually a researcher.
And at first, I was a person that disregarded it and would not look into it. Thought it made people look ridiculous.
It does.
At some point, I found the conflict within myself. I was enlightened. I should have no fear. I had overcome my death, all these types of things. What do I have against looking into this? And I did. Right away, there was key issues that had the ring of truth, just like an alarm bell that goes off when a person is looking for the truth. Truth has a certain taste or feel to it, and I was like stunned by it. There was evidence, things that I could go check and verify myself. So
okay, Jason,
I researched.
Jason, we only have 2 hours. We really need to get to the topic here, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. So enough context. Enough context.
Yeah, we got the context. Trust me.
Nobody gives one damn about your context. Get to the evidence. And almost every time a flat earther comes on, they have to give their come to Jesus story. Nobody cares. We've all heard the same come to Jesus idiocy story from you before. They're all the same.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So the the Earth is flat. I have a proof, the Flat Earth River proof, that is undebunked, that shows how a globe Earth would be impossible. But because I've been in Flat Earth long enough, the point that I have to hone in on and just make it the simplest thing that we can key in on is curvature. And so to Red's Rhetoric, to yourselves, to anybody out there, I would like people to name the places where we can go out and measure, get the survey equipment, do the work to see if we project lines that are as level as we possibly can with the instruments that we have these days. Are they level? How long are they level? And do we ever find curvature? I've proposed a water level test that water levels are used in construction. They are more accurate than a laser level because a laser, the beam diverges and becomes immeasurable at relatively short distances. So it's actually water levels that are used to calibrate laser levels. The longer the water level is, we should be able to then pull it up on story poles, be it 3 miles, 6 miles. We can put together as much hose as we wish. And what we'll find is that if we were to both put up the water levels on marks and to have taken and just projected a horizontal line, that we would get the same results, that there is no curvature. The globe Earth promotes.
So he wants to get water levels at multiple spots. Okay. Like one tube between, a mile long tube to see if it. Okay. You can kind of do that with just a calm lake. It's the same thing.
Idea that we see ships sail beyond the horizon where they're disappearing from
one thing at a time. Jason, you're rambling. Just talk one thing at a time. So you're talking about Hawking experiment, right? The laser level. Is that what you're referring to? He is. Okay, so Reg and Jim, do you want to address his argument there about the laser level using it across the lake experiment? Because that's what he's referring to, obviously.
I thought he was talking about his own proposal, which was to, I believe, to connect a lot of hoses until you'd got them 3 miles long, and then fill it with water and measure the elevation of each. I thought it was an interesting idea, but I thought that what I did was I calculated how much water would fill a hose 3 miles long, and it was tons of water. So I think it would be quite a challenge to achieve.
Well, no, I've come up with a really simple solution where along the coast we would just have the hose down where the water and the shore meet, and because we have all that water there, we can just have pumps set up that just pump the water into the hose, and we can pump it to the extent that there's no bubbles. We can verify with clear sight glasses on the side that all the bubbles have been removed. It's going to be all the same temperature water, and then when you pull them up and then test that, verify it against a transiting level that can project perfectly level. We can put as many waypoints along the way as necessary with benchmarks to be able to verify that there is absolutely no curvature. So that's just a test. But as far as the
so he was asked, gosh, this what a waffle. What is your evidence? He talked about his come to Flat Earth Jesus story for how long, and now his idea is he wants to just give an idea. This isn't evidence yet. Right? None of this is, what was it that convinced you the Earth is flat? It must be a super high level of evidence, right?
Is concerned, I would just like to really hone in on the fact that because it is my case that everything has been fabricated as evidence for the globe, and that it is one big satanic lie. So I was a Jehovah's Witness. I was born and raised, went to Bethel and all that. Know the Bible really, really well, plus the extra canonical scriptures.
Okay. Jason, I like you, dude. I really do, and thank you for being civil and polite. There's no reason to mute you like we did the other people. You have to stop rambling, though. We have to keep on top.
Nice.
Can I ask me a question?
If only Steve was there last night when Marcus Allen was rambling for hours.
Thanks. Okay. Yes,
yeah. I have a much better solution than connecting, a lot of hoses, and that's simply, let's just go to LIGO. Let's just all go to LIGO. LIGO's arms are long enough. Yeah, LIGO.
LIGO.
Are you talking about a satellite?
No, it's on Earth. LIGO, the instrument that detected gravitational waves?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You think the gravity's real? I understand.
Hang on. I'm not talking about gravity. I'm not talking about going to LIGO because we're trying to measure what LIGO was built for. LIGO has a second-hand factor to it. LIGO's arms are long enough that the curvature of the Earth was a factor in the instrument's design. Over the 4-kilometer length of its arms, the Earth curves down/away by 1 full meter. Precision concrete pouring and leveling were required to counteract this curvature and ensure that LIGO's arms were level for the laser. So if we know that LIGO is shooting laser in a tube, and that tube is a vacuum, therefore getting rid of any atmospheric refraction deviation, so we know that laser is perfectly straight. If it was level at the beginning, but it's not level at the end and requires 1 full meter of concrete to offset the curvature, wouldn't that accomplish what you're suggesting we do, but in a much easier way, and we also get to see some badass technology at the same time?
Okay, so I mean, you do understand that it is my argument that you're talking about a faked instrument to find something that doesn't exist, and it's being promoted as science, which... So I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, Christian.
I don't care what LIGO was built for. I don't care what LIGO does. I care about what LIGO is. At the very basic level, LIGO is a laser within an evacuated chamber to make sure that that laser is perfectly straight. And the laser is leveled at the point of origin. Yet when you go to the other side of its 4-kilometer length, it is not leveled at that side, and over a meter of concrete needed to be poured to offset the curvature enough so that the laser would make it to the other end. I don't care what LIGO's actually measuring, but wouldn't that just do what you said we should do, but in a much easier way?
Why are you taking it to some sort of science type created instrument that's supposed to be so precision that none of us can get our hands on it and actually know for sure the truth?
He doesn't understand.
When there is so many, no. Let me ask a question. When there is so much observable evidence, there is so much observable evidence that we can focus on. That is observable. Let's not take it to the thing.
This douchebag can't even listen.
That we can't all verify ourselves. Let's take it to the things that everyone here can verify themselves.
Okay. Jason, please listen for a minute here. We're having a discussion on flat Earth. We're not having a discussion if reality is real. Okay. If you want to argue from arguing credulity that things don't exist, that all simulation theory, that LIGO
that's not even real. That is not my purpose. You're making that up.
Let me finish. If that's what you do want to argue, that's a different topic. Do you? And these are just yes or no answers because I want to get to the heart of this because what is asked is a very legit question, and you're just taking it on a tangent and nobody wants to really go down. Does LIGO exist?
No.
Yes or no?
This is the tangent. Nobody wants to go down. And it's more than this is the tangent. This is the tangent. Nobody wants to go down.
It's a yes or no question, please. Does LIGO exist?
Flat Earth. We're going back to curvature. We're going to curvature. We're not going down LIGO. We're not.
I'm asking you a direct question. Please answer it. I don't like playing
right now. This is a misdirect.
Jason,
this is a misdirect.
It's a misdirect. It's not a misdirect. Okay, you know what? Jason, another person on it. Yeah, I'm already lost my patience.
Yeah,
Jason,
let's talk about flat Earth. We're not.
Okay.
We're not talking about LIGO. We're talking about flat Earth.
Look. All of you calm down.
You want to answer a direct question?
Let me try to get this back on track. Okay. Reds asked you a very legitimate question about an instrument that can do basically what you were wanting to do in the first place. Why is that not okay? Because
this is a satanic misdirect, and the purpose of it is to take us and have us go into a piece of instrument that nobody else can.
It's a satanic misdirect.
Verify.
David, he's talking about something.
You guys are saying this right now.
He wants to take it down a little bit.
Hold on. We're not going to say about.
You guys are saying this.
I'm interested now. Hold on. Jason, explain to me what's satanic about
absolute douchebag.
Do you promote the heliocentric lie?
Really?
I'd like to know why. Hold on, everybody. Listen, I asked him a question. Let him answer it. God damn.
So did we. So did we.
We're gonna get back there, but I want to find out. I want to find out what he thinks we're doing that's satanic.
Do you promote the heliocentric lie?
Oh my God!
I do not promote the heliocentric lie. I promote reality. What's satanic about that?
It's not reality. It's not true, and it's very
so
very provably not true.
Again, you don't want to use sciencey things, so I don't take what you say.
I'm the one that proposed the water level test. I'm the one that proposed the water level test. Nobody else has come up with a better experiment than it.
Sciencey?
Hang on. No. If you just remembered what I just said, I just gave you one that was better. I just did, and your only response to that was, "Oh, it's Satan because Mahulibuk." I need something better than that, dude.
You're taking it to a technology that. Exactly. You're taking it to a technology, right? That nobody else has the ability to see the actual results. It's the easiest thing to manipulate out there.
They give tours. They give fucking tours, and you can say this shit for yourself.
Jason, Jason, do you think
I'm talking about an experiment.
Hang on. This is my turn. If you were worried about giving your money to these awful satanic devil worshipping baby eaters, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I will pay for your ticket, and they will take my money, and then you can see the tube that has the laser in it going perfectly straight, and seeing how the Earth does not conform to that laser. Would you like to go ahead?
My turn. Wait, now it's my turn. So let me ask you, Jason. I asked a very good question for a reason, and when I ask direct questions, I expect direct answers because I give direct answers. Okay, I'm not trying to trap anybody. These are very simple, basic questions. Do you agree LIGO exists? Simple question. Doesn't quite require a lot of context. Yes or no?
LIGO is not in my area of research. I've heard of it. I have never been there.
Okay, so you don't know if it exists or not.
I don't.
Okay, fair enough. That's honest answer. Can't laugh at all. Okay, it's fair enough. So do you know what LIGO was done? Do you know what LIGO was built for?
Who's that?
That's what Russian is, I think. Okay, hang on, Russian. Do you know what LIGO, and there's other ones, there's more than one. I believe there's three now, there's one in space. But do you know what they're built for?
Do you understand that what you're doing is trying to build an argument off of something that doesn't exist?
The next person that answers a question with a question, I will ask to have repeated. We're running out of time here. Do not answer a question with a question. I've asked you a question. It requires an answer, not with a question. Do you know what LIGO was built for?
I've told you that this is not my area.
Why are you doing this for? Why are we doing
This is not my area of research.
Hang on. This is honestly not your area. Hang on. This doesn't need to be your area of research. I will explain it very simply. LIGO only has three things that would.
And Russian Vince shows up. There he is. Hi, Russian Vince.
We're concerned about. Hang on. Please. We are only concerned with three parts of LIGO. We are concerned with the laser, the evacuated chamber, and the meter-high batch of concrete that's on the other side of it to counteract the curvature of the Earth. Those are the only three things about LIGO that we actually care about right here. So if we really need to understand
what LIGO is, it is believe it existed.
Yeah. He's such a douchebag that he doesn't even know that LIGO exists.
Alright, so there is things that I have researched extensively. There are things that I have researched extensively, and those are the things that I wish to speak about. The things that I have not researched extensively would not be the areas that I would want to speak about. But I am proposing this as a topic.
That's great. You don't all the things you don't know.
What I am proposing
Thank you, Kyle.
Everyone mute.
Thank you, Kyle.
Everyone mute for a second. I'm not saying you did research this. That's not my claim. My question, actually, because it's a question, not a claim. My question is, would you like to go there with me so we can research this and you can measure that block of concrete for yourself?
The answer is no, because what I want to do is experiments that every single person out there is capable of verifying themselves.
You can! About that. You just I can jump in.
Yeah, the reason why
Sorry, the roller coaster. I didn't know the sound was going through. Fixed it.
You don't want to do it because it will shatter your view of the geocentric model. That's the only reason that you don't want to do it.
Okay, guys, show me the place where the curve is. Tell the audience where we can go measure the curve.
He just did.
8 inches.
He just did.
Jump in here.
8 inches per mile square. Do you know how much that is?
I offered to buy your ticket, dude.
I'm done with Jason. He's a
Russian
at this point. So
you guys are such satanic losers.
Hey, actually, Jason, before you go, can we bring you back on to talk about if we landed on the moon sometime?
That's fine. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
I can cover anything that has to do with spirituality, Jehovah's Witnesses, flat Earth, you name it.
Okay. Email me at live@nonsec show so that I have your information.
I just want to say,
I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead and make a claim. I want to go ahead and just make a claim real quick. I honestly don't believe for a second that this guy cares about what we can all do, because Romans chapter 3 verse 4 will basically override any batch of evidence or logic or reasonable thinking you could possibly throw at him. At this point, I'm done.
Yeah, and the reason why this was so critical, I was next. The reason it was so critical is because if Red is asking him a question about LIGO, and he clearly does not know what LIGO is for, he automatically jumped to a conclusion because he doesn't know what LIGO is. It has to be a satanic conspiracy. This is the mindset that we're trying to point out to people. If somebody doesn't know something, they're incapable of having it. Do not interrupt me, please. When a person does that,
there was the devil sign.
Okay. Hell's yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, baby. Fuck yeah, Black Sabbath. Bitch out.
Nice. What happened to Jason?
Okay, Russian. How can you disappoint us?
Yeah. Okay. So that's the.
Okay. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Thank you. This is awesome. We're enjoying this.
Thank you.
We're having a fucking
I
blast.
Do you like Black Sabbath?
Guys, I just want to say, guys, please, I just want to say, I'm not going to be one to jump over people. Let's let each person speak and get their point across. It's really irritating to hear.
That's exactly what Jason said was going to happen.
Hear people talk over each other. It's pointless. Let's let each other talk, and we can do this. It's not a big deal. It's very, it's reasonable.
We've heard that all day. We've heard that all day.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I want to, I was in the chat. Oh, sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I just want to know, do you like Black Sabbath? Because this is important. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, the double one. Hey, let me just say this.
People in chat, we love you. Thank you.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I just want to point out when Dell and Gav were on, and I just wish I could have just joined in then and just said this simply. We never seen space shuttles enter space and return from space. That's observable, supposedly, objectively. We've never seen that. All we see is shuttles come in for the landing. Okay, there's supposedly no fuel. It's all expelled during launch. But they come in supposedly back into Earth's atmosphere with no fuel. These little tiny wings drop out of space like a rock and land. What's that? See, I'm being interrupted. I thought we're going to do this where we don't interrupt each other.
You can finish. Yeah, you can finish.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at, where Gav and you guys are going back and forth, I want to explain. I made many videos on this topic where you see, for example, the European Union supposedly launching a rocket into space to disperse satellites. The problem is this. You see the rocket launch. Then the problem is this. When the so-called rockets in space, it's freaking CGI. It's not real. It's a cartoon in space. That's what I'm getting at. We do not have observable proof. So, for example, Red, and no disrespect, Red, or anybody here, I just want to have a conversation.
It's lots of disrespect. I have to restart my app. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back.
When you show that that one launch into space, we don't know when it's entering or exiting the so-called atmosphere. But I can tell you, we don't see a physical space shuttle launch go into space or return. That's the point I'm trying to get. That's the point I want to make. People need to understand this. Another example, flight simulators. Okay, there's no curvature in the flight simulator. My brother's a pilot. There's no curvature in the flight simulator. Therefore,
why does the flight simulator matter? It's a simulator.
When pilots exit a flight simulator and fly in a real plane, that's why it's called an airplane. It's a vehicle flying over a plane.
That's not why it's called an airplane. What a douche. Just to play word games are so dumb. It's just juvenile.
Through the air. There's no curvature in the flight simulator. So, yeah, go ahead.
Let's deal with one claim.
Fleur Fafar, you are 100% correct. This is Russian vids. He's not smart.
At a time, okay? So let him respond to the thing and then go into the simulator so that we don't get lost, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I actually am one of the few people out there that doesn't go to NASA to say that the Earth is round. In fact, the only reason I say that the Earth is round is because of observations and measurements that I have done myself. And so, but if you want to go ahead and talk about NASA, the first thing we need to understand here is that is a completely different topic. But to your question about the space shuttle, how does it stay up there even though all the fuel is expelled? All right. Well, here's the thing. Imagine you have a ball.
Sorry, but I didn't say that. Hey? No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't say that. I simply said, how does it return to space as a rock and just come into the supposed Earth's atmosphere and come in for a landing on the spinning ball? I didn't say how it maneuvered in space without fuel. I didn't even go there. That wasn't the point. But go ahead.
Okay, then the way they enter the Earth's atmosphere is by doing what's known as a deorbit burn. The space shuttle is going to flip to go retrograde, fire its rockets to lower its orbit in so that it enters the Earth's atmosphere. While it's still in the vacuum of space, after that retrograde burn, it's then going to use rotation wheels or RCS thrusters to flip itself into the proper orientation so that the wings are level with the atmosphere it wants to go in. Then it's going to do what's known as pitch, yaw, and roll maneuvers to bleed off as much speed as possible so that most of the brute force and heating can hit the tiles that are on the belly of the lifting body aircraft. Then after a while, after it finally travels long enough and bleeds off enough speed, it will then act like a glider. The same way that gliders land on a globe is the same exact way the space shuttle would land on a globe, because the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth, therefore having a 1-to-1 speed ratio with the ground that it's trying to land on. So with a 1-to-1 speed ratio, it's able to easily maneuver and easily land and deploy a drogue chute to bring itself to a safe landing for the astronauts that are on board, assuming, of course, you don't have an O-ring fuck up like what happened with Challenger.
Yeah, which was a hoax. But I want to say this clearly.
Which was it?
I wish you
Go
guys
fuck
can
yourself.
screenshot.
I'm sorry.
I wish you guys.
Wait. No, I'm not going to let you get away with that. Excuse me. I am not going to let you get away with that. Did you just say the Challenger was a hoax? Did you just say Challenger was a hoax? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done. Get the fuck out, David. I'm telling you right. Get him the fuck out of here. I will not have that.
Bye,
You will
Russian.
not disrespect me for that.
Hold on,
Bye-bye.
guys. Hold on. Let me explain.
It's about flat Earth, not about hoax.
Eat a dick, RV. Go to hell, RV. You're evil, RV.
Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out. David, he's gone. I'm not putting up with that.
That's it.
Bye, Russian.
Wow. Not only is Russian Vidge a dipshit, but also a fucking asshole as well. Congratulations, dude.
Right. Yeah, we have, believe it or not, we have some standards here.
Well,
We have
guys,
some standards here. They're not very high, but that's it.
that was eventful. Thank you to Gav, Dell, Satanic Guy, and Russian for once again proving why it's just complete lunacy to believe that there is a flat Earth. We went through four people in a matter of 2 hours.
Awful.
None of them having any shred of evidence. None of them able to rebut anything they were presented with. All it is nuh-uh, and that's Satan.
Yep.
So,
Thank you everyone for watching this.
we're gonna let y'all have the last word and plug your channels. Tell everybody what you've got coming up and any other kind of tidbits that you want to throw in there. We'll start with Reds.
I guess thank you all for watching Non Sequitur. It was fucking amazing, and by fucking amazing, I mean it was an entertaining dumpster fire. I'm glad I could be a part of it.
That's right.
It was fucking amazing. I'm sorry, I love this shit. But the fact is that my channel is Red's Rhetoric. Subscribe if you want to, or don't if you don't. Doesn't matter to me. Basically, yeah. If this is the best that Flat Earth has, then good luck with that. Over to you.
Well said, Jim Panda.
We scraped the bottom of the barrel. We know.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now.
It was kind of how I thought it would be. But yeah, I think it's exactly as you said. I think they failed to make decent arguments, and Dell and Gavin descended it into a sort of a series of ad homs, really. But yeah, my channel is Panda 2012. I do some flat Earth debunking, and Apollo is kind of my thing. So I've got a nice long documentary presenting positive evidence for the Apollo missions. So if you're interested in that, please take a look. And thanks very much, you guys, for hosting this.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for sorry for making you endure that, but I think it was necessary. Guys out there, check out both of their channels. They're both fantastic. Not only do they make Flat Earth look ridiculous, but you'll learn something from every video that you watch with them. So you'll get something out of it too. Steve, any last words before I go and smoke the biggest bowl I have ever smoked in my entire life?
I'm coming over to smoke it with you, brother. No, you know, I do want to thank Red and Jem for coming in. Obviously, I know this is probably not worth much of your time. I get that. We did find the bottom of the barrel for this. We promised a dumpster fire. We delivered, hopefully, on that promise.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. You know, I know that you guys can handle anything that a Flat Earth throws out there, because as Kyle has rightly pointed out, every Flat Earth we brought in today had nothing to offer. They had no model. They even admitted there's no Flat Earth model. They on air admitted there's no Flat Earth model. And it was all about conspiratorial bullshit and Illuminati, and Satanism. I mean, they have absolutely nothing. I think many of them probably do need to go get some mental assessment. I'm not trying to be disparaging on that, but when you think everything is conspiracy, maybe something's not functioning right upstairs. But I do want to thank both of you guys for coming in. I love the audience. You guys were wonderful on this. All
right. Thank you, Steve. And Reds and Kyle. And if you don't know, Steve and Kyle had a falling out. The Non Sequitur show went into it was a mess. But yeah, they had some excellent moderation. And if you disparage the dead, then you get the hell out. Flat Earth is a joke. We like to expose how much of a horrible person, how horrible people Flat Earthers are in general. And we had 4 excellent examples of that right there. Why is it that so many Flat Earthers are horrible people? The more religious they are, the more toxic they are. It seems our Jason was so toxic, right? He's like, I'm gonna have a nice conversation, and it went quick. Y'all are you're all Satanists. That's insanity. Dave was a fantastic Booleanator. He was a fantastic mod. The one time I was on with Right the Hand, Chris Zielinski, and he it wasn't much different than this. It was, we're going to present evidence. If you think the Earth is flat, bring your evidence. If you think the Earth is a globe, bring your evidence. We both have the burden of proof in a debate, right? In the realm of scientific review, if you're going to say that the Earth is flat, it's harder than in a debate, because you need to first address all of the things that the globe deals with, and somehow do a better job, right? You can't just say, oh, well, this one thing, therefore everything of the globe goes away. That doesn't work. You need to actually address everything. So Russian vids is a total scumbag. So Josh says that he said that he's a good friend with Steve, and he've watched it several times. Yes, well, that's cool. Steve, I like Steve. Kyle turned into a basically a toxic flirt from what I've heard. I don't know. Josh Garver says martial arts. Jesus Christ. With your powers combined, I am Captain Flat Earth. Do you mean with our powers combined? Yeah, I'm a second, an Edan, as you say in Korean, a second degree black belt in a Korean martial art, not Taekwondo. So I did it for about 10 years. I did others. I did Kung Fu, a Yi family Kung Fu, and I did Judo, and I did wrestling in high school. But yeah, I got my black belt in a Korean one. So mostly it's more kicking than other things. But we did a good amount of rolling and stuff. And as you move up, you wind up teaching. And so you teach the younger classes. So I'm teaching them how to do rolls and things like that. So I got pretty good at teaching rolls. So when I was doing ultimate frisbee, I would I could roll. But today, I thumped pretty hard. So I think I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. Then Eclipse Chris says, "Hail Jeebus, tune is on in the morning." Jason Fool, yeah, Jason Laufenberg is a horrible person. Absolutely disgusting. Every time that I see him, I'm more disgusted than the previous time. And this was from 6 years ago. Yep. And since then, though, he has ostracized or become estranged from the rest of the flat earth community because he says all of the other flat earthers are Satanists too, because he says that basically, flat earthers are like, everything I don't like is fake. Jason is, everything I don't like is satanic. So the Gleason map, which he has rejected, he says is satanic. So any flat earther that uses the Gleason map is then, by his definition, satanic. So, Rev MSJ. All right. Do you think they are true Scotsmen? I do think all of those flat earthers are flat earthers. I don't think any of them are not. I don't think there are very many fake flirfs. You need, right? You can only do it for so long and have the passion to keep doing it for so long. If you're faking it, for what reasons, right? How long could you do something just as a LARP? If you're just LARPing, how long could you do that? You'd get bored of it. You don't have the passion, right? So I think that most flat earthers that have been at it for a long time, especially if they've been consistent, that they're not LARPing, live action role playing, that they're actually serious about it. There's a couple that I think that are fake. I think that Matt Boylan, Math Powerland, his name's Matt Boylan. His name's not actually Matt Boylan, as far as I know. He goes by Math Powerland. He can't do math. But that is, to my knowledge, a character name that he has chosen for the character that is a flat earther that he's acting. So I don't think he's actually a flat earther. He started actually in 2011, and he comes and goes. He'll do a series of videos that he's selling shirts, and then he'll stop for a while. And then he'll come back and sell shirts again, and then he'll leave for a while. So I don't think he's serious. I think he's playing. Who else do I don't know if... Oh, there's a guy on Facebook now that's 100% fake. He says that he's got a flat earth school. He claims that he's a pilot, like a 747 pilot or something like that. There's no multi-engine certified pilot that is a flat earther, to my knowledge. And if any flatties think that there are some, give me their name. You never will. Give me their name. I'll contact them, and they can come on and they can show how they do navigation. These behind me on the wall, these are Lambert conformal conic projections from the globe. They're flight charts. I taped them together 3 straight legs that are 10,000 kilometers each, and when you put them together, they only fit on a globe. No flat earther pilots. There's to my knowledge one that's only certified to do short range stuff. He's got his private license, and that's about it. He can't do much. And if he were ever to take his multi-engine certification, he would need to have a bit more depth in it, and then I think as the testing will shake out any flat earthers, to my knowledge. So Josh Garver says the martial arts reference was for Jason. Oh, for Jason. He says his study of martial arts and Jesus made him realize we are in a simulation. Oh, for Jason Laufenberg. I got it. Yeah. Now I'm uncomfortable being in martial arts since he was in martial arts. He's such a terrible person. All right. Anyway, Eclipse Chris says, then Jason is everything satanic flirter. Jason is an everything satanic flirter. Yeah. He is. He got upset at his mom because she's not a flurf. So Lisa says that one idea, ask for 2 flat earth geologists' names. It's a good idea. You know, there's a whole lot of professions that don't have any flat earthers. Multi-engine certified pilots, cartographers, geodetic surveyors, geologists, seismologists, physicists, teachers in any STEM field, graduates, to my knowledge, who really has a bachelor's degree in a hard STEM field, right? Physics, chemistry, something like that, engineering, a 4-year degree. There's a smattering of those that claim it, but I have my doubts. Right, there was Brian Mullen, who said that he was a mechanical engineer, but he talked about his force the line experiment that he wanted to do, which told me that he couldn't have had the background. I'll explain it quick. Force the line is he wants to build a physical, straight a device on the shoreline or somewhere, where somehow they force it to be straight. Now, I don't know how they would measure it straight, because the problem is over the course of an entire mile, you have to have less than 8 inches of flex. So what material has less than that? There is no material that exists. So you'd have to somehow measure that it is straight. But how would you measure that it to be straight? Well, I know how I would do it. I know how surveyors would do it. They would use optical devices, but they reject optical devices. The reason why they want to build a physical device is because when you look through a theodolite and you measure, it results in the earth being curved. And their whole point of all of their experiments is, how can we prove flat? That's all they want to do. So, so anyway, so that's what he wanted to do. And the fact that he thought that was a reasonable thing to ask for tells me that he doesn't have the background in mechanical engineering that he would need. Right? It wouldn't take a whole lot of background in mechanical engineering to say, all right, well, if we take a 10-foot section, which is, there's 5,280 feet in a mile. So take a 10-foot section, you have to have 528 of them. Right? If the first intersection is 1 degree off, well, you're way too far off. If it's 1/10 of a degree off, well, you're way too far off, right? You need 1 degree is 69 miles. So in 1 mile, you don't have a lot of slop. Let's see, how many kilometers to a mile? Hold on. How many I can... all right, at 1.6. So 1600. There we go. And so in 1 mile, you have a curve of 0.014 degrees. That's the curve. So in a mile. So if you take that, this is super important, right? He couldn't do this. He couldn't do this. 0.013 5 to 80. There you go. Oh my goodness. So to have, this is I'm doing this right. To have 5,280 intersections of 10-foot segments, first of all, you need to have each of those perfectly straight. I don't know how you get those perfectly straight, but let's imagine you could get them perfectly straight. Your intersection between sections, to have it curve at the rate of the surface of the Earth, 0.000027 degrees is the amount. If you butt the two ends together and then you have them tip away from each other at 0.000027 degrees, that's how much the Earth would curve. So you have to have it less than that, probably at least an order of magnitude. So 1 decimal point more, less, right? Can you actually do that? Assuming that you could make a perfectly straight piece, how could you? You couldn't. The only way to do it is optical, and they reject the optical because the optical we can look at. It's known. It doesn't work for them. So how are you going to do it? I don't know. Anyway, they're like, don't you think that people would just want to have that? And then you can prove it. You could just build it and then it could be there as a monument forever. Like, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. You're a mechanical engineer. You couldn't figure out how impossible it would be to build. That wouldn't be $1 million. That would not be $1 billion. You'd have to invent entire new industries in order to have that kind of perfection, to non-optically make it straight for 1 mile. And then it's only 8 inches at the end of a mile. You're not going to see, right? You'd be at the structure. You'd be at the one end of the structure. You'd be like, oh, and they'd have one that would match the curve of the Earth and one that would be straight. And you'd be at the end of that mile. And you'd be like, oh, look, there's a difference of this. What's that for? Like, well, that entire part that you can't see and you can't verify because it's scientism. That's what they say. Is supposed to be, one's supposed to be straight, one's supposed to be curved. They still wouldn't believe it. They would reject it anyway. Derpzoid says optical is not physical. Yeah, okay. Exactly, Max. Zumi says, okay, idea. We get a tube and just wrap it around the entire Earth. That'd prove it once and for all. Yes. On the topic of this video, this is good. The LIGO has the kind of precision that this project needs, and it cost $400 million in 1994. The problem is, of course, that they used optical methods to do it, which they reject. And so to go to LIGO, right? You go to LIGO, and if they're gonna reject optical methods, well, I don't know. Maybe they would. Maybe they wouldn't. The laser is in a tube, right? And so the actual building structure is not in the tube. And I don't know the specifics of it, but when they built the tube, they needed, I'm certain they would have had to. If I did it, I would have to do this. You'd have to have a way to very precisely adjust the stand that the tube sits on at regular intervals all the way along the 4-kilometer length of that tube. So I don't know. I don't know if they'd accept it. I guess I do know. They would not. So Real Cygnus is from Jesse's working on an aquatic force line with neutral buoyant line. Might be interesting. An aquatic force. I don't know how he's doing that. That'd be interesting, but you know, the question is, does water curve? So if you use water to see if water curves, then if you're using water to make a level line, then you're still relying on the thing in question. So I don't know how he was doing that. It's interesting. So anyway, that will do it. This might be interesting. A couple of these. I do have a video of Nathan Oakley tearing Witsit apart. I might review that at some point. But Witsit is on hiatus right now, so I might wait for him to come back. I don't know. Maybe he got the beat down too much from Quantum Eraser and realized that nobody on the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server has his back. I don't know. He hasn't done much lately. He might go to Antarctica though. Who knows? So anyway, people, thanks a lot for joining. I will we'll be back next week. Here we go.
MC Tune, drop that beat.
All right, let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So yeah, let's do this. So
let's do this. Yo, it's MC Toon, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC Toon, the one soon cartoons. I'm the real say, send it first to their dues. Your theories are like old brooms, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views.
FDFE stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting.
MC Toon, the buffoon with silver spoon. I got the pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the room. When it comes to debunking, I'm the room.
But hey, FTFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk the plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I've got the upper hand than word indeed. All right, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died. No.